Now the O-Deck with Gordo brought to us by Tylock George Laser Eye Care and A No. 1 Air.
Thank you, Craig. So, yes, tensions and feelings are tensions are high and feelings are low concerning the Stars' loss as they go down 3-0 against Vegas. And I was watching the game last night, the first part of the game. It was
that
on
explains a lot.
In the room, and person turns on the TV, says, "Oh, Stars already down 2-0 in the game." And then as we're watching, they quickly go down 3-0. And around that time,
That's what a kick he's getting out of this.
I know.
no, I'm not going to get. Okay, I don't want to be misunderstood because feelings are so very sensitive right now.
Everything's very raw
Everything's
at this moment.
extremely raw now, and particularly then last night.
Yes.
And I thought I was going to do the dumb oblivious guy, right? So I tweet out, "Hey, just turning on the Stars game, got on the DVR. I'm really excited. Got a
Go
great
Stars."
feeling about this one. Have a feeling the Stars are going to pitch a shutout, something like that." Doing the guy who doesn't have all the information and is about to start the game.
Did you get annihilated?
I got blasted.
What are you doing?
No way!
Worse than Japan in World War II. Well, not worse.
Whoa.
Not worse. But it was, it was universal. Okay. Isn't it a little bit funny, the guy that's oblivious, though? And, hey, guys, really excited. Got his pen up and got on DVR. He just doesn't know what's about to happen. Okay. All right. I will take it down and apologize, and I will delete my social media accounts.
Okay, there you go.
He has since taken down the tweet and has deleted his social media accounts.
Always a red flag.
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
Yeah, it's defeating. Did you read P1 Nick's email breaking down percentages and everything, and just how hard it is? I mean, you even mentioned the stat of 46-0, teams that go up 3-0 going on to win the series.
In the conference finals.
46-0.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying there's a chance.
There's going to be that team someday that does it.
Some teams got
Why not this team?
Break that streak. Maybe it's the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'll be showing up next game, probably full force, right? Got all their players.
We don't know. They may be without the captain.
Maybe not all. Yeah.
They may not be able to slide the captain between the pipes.
Your captain, what does Jamie Benn play? Does he play an important position?
Yes.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
Oh.
He as a figure, he's probably the most important guy on the team.
Leads by example, maybe? One of those guys?
You know what? And normally he does.
He does.
Normally he does.
99% of the time.
As DeBoer said, that was very out of character for him. We were all shocked by that. Nobody could believe Jamie Benn lost his cool like that 5 minutes into the game, whatever it was. That was pretty stunning.
I mean, when I hear him interviewed, it doesn't sound like he has that much fight in him.
No.
He leaves it all on the ice.
Yes, he leaves it all on the ice out there. That's where he likes to attack the opposing team. Okay, let's talk about it. So I apologize, and I will leave all the P1s alone now. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
About my Twizzler account. Get this from P1 Greg. We got so much response on yesterday's impressive show. I mean, we really had an award-winning show yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about scams.
Yeah.
And people started sharing their scam stories.
Man, some of those were so sad, talking about their mothers being scammed.
So this comes to us from Greg. Gentle Musers, my 90-year-old grandmother almost fell for a similar scam where they were impersonating me. They called and said that they were her grandson and that I was in jail in Greece and needed bail money of $5,000 and don't tell my parents. A 90-year-old woman, right? Think about how easy it is to game her. My 90-year-old grandmother believed it, called a taxi, and went to the Western Union desk at Walmart. And this is a woman who doesn't drive because she's so frail and can't get around, and she actually called a cab to take her to the Western Union.
Gosh.
And he says, thank goodness the Western Union clerk sniffed it out and asked her to call me directly. And, of course, she calls me,
wow.
and I had no idea about it. But yeah, thank goodness that Western Union clerk on the lookout for scams, too. This from Clifton. This is a pretty interesting one. He's sharing how his mother was scammed. Her bank and credit card, whether it was a bank or a debit card or a credit card, he didn't remember, but it was expiring, and she receives the new card in the mail, which we all do, right? And what do you have to do when you get the new credit card?
Activate it.
Yeah, there's that sticker on it that says, call this number. So she dialed the phone number on the sticker to activate the new card. And they asked her okay, what's your card number? Yes, okay. And what's your social security number? What's your birthday, to prove who you are and everything. Okay, your card's activated. That's good. What she didn't realize was that she had transposed the last two numbers of the phone number to activate the card. It was a legitimate card that came in the mail.
Yeah.
But the scammers know what the legitimate phone number is, and they buy up all the misdials.
Wow.
Oh,
so
gosh.
You misdial, you call in. It sounds like the credit card.
So they get their number and all.
Not
their
only get her
personal...
number, but they also ask the Social Security and all that kind of stuff. Well, his mother answered all the questions, and then after she hung up, she started thinking, they asked a lot of questions that I don't remember them asking when I've activated other cards. So she immediately drove to the local branch and told the bank what happened. And they said, yeah, you've been scammed, and told her that this is what the people do. And she got there fast enough before the card was used or anything. But
if they know that this is how the scammers work, can't they trace all of those alternate numbers? Chase them down, shut them down.
But I don't know if you buy them with shell companies or what. I don't know how they do it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. P1 Brad had a few that he's experienced. He said his wife received an email from what looked like her business partner claiming that she had changed bank accounts and that her direct deposit needed to be changed. And his wife fell for it. It was a scammer, and the scammers got $26,000 before they realized that, oh, wait a second, that wasn't you several weeks ago that told me to change your direct deposit? No, what are you talking about? I haven't been paid. What?
God.
They recovered about $18,000 back, but they had to file a police report in another state, and it was a whole deal.
When you see things that are really unusual, like they talked about it on the 60 Minutes, like there's software out there now that can help protect you. Like, say the son could keep an eye on what calls his mom is getting, and they can redirect those calls to him or all sorts of crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. But as he said, and he can also keep an eye on his mom's credit card to see if there's, a charge that doesn't make sense. Is there? I haven't seen any report on this, but is the next level of this going to be they get your information and they don't charge stuff for like $5,000, but they just attach a little barnacle to you that pays them every month $10 or $15 that you would never know about?
Yeah.
Is that maybe that's already being done?
They just set it up and it says Netflix with 2 X's on the end or something, and you're thinking, oh, this is my auto charge.
Well, that must be the wine club I'm a member of.
Brad said, my son left his phone unattended one time and it was stolen, and the thieves were able to open the phone, gain access to his bank accounts because he had, the apps on there, and transfer savings to checking, then went to the ATM and withdrew about $20,000. And they think it was ATM withdrawals, and the bank thought that the son was in on it because it was his card and had all the information and everything. But turns out, no, the phone is no. They had to explain the whole situation to him. He said, no, your son was actually withdrawn. What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
What are you talking about, Dad? Then he said that we also had, I think Brad and his family were being targeted. He said we also had checks stolen from the blue mailbox in front of the post office. that thieves do a thing where they have a string attached to like mouse trap paper so they can fish out mail that people are mailing out, and they take those uncanceled checks that you're mailing into a business or a company, and they take those and they wash them and they use them to make other checks, and then they can start paying. He said in this case they paid a bunch of vendors. I don't know what that was for, but he said that the bank was alerted, and the next day they attempted to cash another check, and the teller contacted police. Thief ran off, but security cameras caught the car, which was a rental, and they traced it back, made an arrest.
Damn.
This one, he said, my employee's mother was contacted by what she was made to believe was her boss, and he asked her with convincing explanation that he needed her to buy gift cards as employee gifts for the holidays, and that he would reimburse her. Lost $3,500.
Ugh.
What do you think the numbers are? How many people in America are working on scams?
It's got to be really low, right? And I think it also, I also think it's very rare that there are like the individual scam artists. I think most of them are part of groups, like organized scammer groups.
Yeah.
And, there's YouTube channels of the guys who scam the scammers and have set up software that trace it back. A lot of them are in India. They'll work out of buildings, big buildings, and the whole office building is filled with organized scam operations.
Think if all the scammers actually channeled their efforts towards good, think how much better the world would be.
I know.
Because I get the feeling there are millions of scammers out there. Millions.
I remember my dad got scammed one time. It was something with his computer, and he was calling for tech support. I can't remember the details of it, whether it was, call Windows support at this number. And it was a virus that he had gotten on his computer, and so he called the number, and they were trying to lead him through it. And I walked in one day visiting him at his house, and he was on the phone with tech support. And I'm listening to this going, what's wrong with your computer, Dad? Oh, this happened and everything, and this guy's helped me out. And I said, I don't know about this. I think there's a scam. So I took over the phone call, and it was clearly a scammer, I thought, I immediately. And did so the guy was telling me, okay, you need to do this, and you send me this information, and give me this, and do this, and okay, yeah, I'll do that. What else? And I was just frustrating him because I was real inept. I pretended I was real inept. And he started catching on that I knew something was up, and he started cussing me and saying the most vile and vulgar things. I was like, okay, what do you want me to do next? I want you to go. And he told me to go do something to my sister.
God.
And I said, okay, hold on.
Okay, hold
And
on.
I left for like 2 minutes, and I come back huffing and puffing and go, okay, all right, what next?
Did he finally hang up on
Yeah,
you?
he got so pissed.
How about that? Gordo can even frustrate a scammer.
So pissed he hung up.
All right, Gordo, thank you. That's the O-Deck. But first, it's Muse in the News with Gordo, brought to us by D&M Auto Leasing and All Pro Foundation Repair.
The CDC is reporting another death linked to those eye drops that were contaminated.
Man.
They've had 81 cases, which is up from the 68 cases that were identified in March. So this new total includes 14 people who have been blinded by using contaminated eye drops, and 4 others who had to have their eyeballs surgically removed.
I was having trouble with allergies a couple of weeks ago, and someone offered, shut up. Someone offered me eye drops, and I said, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because I've just been kind of lightly following the story. Not knowing what brand to stay away from, and I just thought,
though
it's
most
okay.
infections have been limited to the eyes, the bacteria can be fatal when it enters the bloodstream. And 4 people have died that way. So yeah, as you mentioned, George, you're scared of all brands. You don't have to be scared of all brands. It's Ezri Care Artificial Tears. Gross. Ezra Care. EZRICARE. Artificial Tears. And they were manufactured by Global Pharma Healthcare in India, sold mostly online. But the CDC and the FDA says that people should stop using them if you have them. If you have that in your medicine cabinet, get rid of them. Get rid of them. And there's also 2 other eye products made by the same manufacturer that they're warning against. Delsam Pharma's artificial tears, DELSAM, and Delsam Pharma's artificial eye ointment. Don't use that. That's weird. Eye ointment. You ever seen that?
No, I didn't think you could put ointment in your eye.
Yeah, I think they do it to newborns.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I did see that.
They like just put all this gel on a newborn's eye, and it looks so... What we do to newborns looks kind of like torture.
Yeah.
Clean them up, rub them all vigorously.
They don't seem to like it.
No.
You like it?
That I like it. Back to people getting their eyeballs surgically removed. But this particular strain of bacteria is difficult, if not impossible, to control with standard antibiotics. You know, we all went through coronavirus, and we may have another pandemic that's just lurking around the corner. You never know. But there's also that private war that's brewing with bacteria and fungus, certain kinds that, you know, these super strains that don't respond to any of our medicines. We have gotten so used to technology saving our asses. We just think, I mean, have to go to the hospital. Yeah, just give me the stuff that fixes everything. I'll be back.
I just saw a documentary about that called The Last of Us.
Yes, that's right. That's about a fungus. Before last year, this particular form of this bacteria had never been reported in the United States.
Wow.
And now cases have been discovered in 18 states, including TEXAS.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I've only done the eye drops a couple of times in my life anyway because it's hard for me to do.
It's one of the more unnatural things that you have to learn as an adult.
Hold your eye open and then
you remember
drop
the first
something
time?
into
Did you
it.
guys ever have trouble swallowing pills?
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
Boy, I used to when I was a kid. It's like impossible.
I don't even need water.
Oh man, I've seen people with your superpower, George, that can take like a handful of pills. I swear, I don't know
I
whether
can't
it's
do
like,
that.
like
I have
my
to do one at a time.
grandfather or somebody that I knew when I was a kid had to take a lot of pills, and so they'd have a handful of pills and they'd throw them all in there. A couple of them were horse-looking pills, you know, ones that were big as suppositories.
And just swallow it.
Yeah, and just swallow it with no water. No water. Just swallow it.
Dang.
And then the head hits the pillar, goes to sleep. Doesn't care about nothing. The CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, wrote in a social media posting that the company is reversing its decision to get rid of AM radio
All right.
in their vehicles. Yes. This obviously means a lot to the ticket because we are original. We're OG AM. We're an OG AM station, right?
Yep.
We've added FMs along the way and added streaming, but we are 1310
All of them
AM.
very difficult to bring in. But
and
yes.
totally different. And they're totally different.
Totally different frequencies.
Yes. For some reason, we like hamstrung ways of delivering our product.
I've always said no station in America makes it more difficult for their listeners to consume their product.
It is amazing that we have as many listeners as we do.
I know.
When we basically set up a content obstacle course for them to get through. Content delivery obstacle course. We have an AM signal that is not the greatest on the AM dial.
It's not.
Especially at night.
We have an FM signal that struggles to reach the entire Metroplex. And we have a stream that will cut out and go in endless commercial loop from time to time.
That'll happen.
Only every 20 minutes or so. Come on.
Yeah.
Yet,
We're working on it.
despite all of that, we're
We
the
have-
number one rated station in the market.
And I think that's
Number
the
one.
answer as to why we have the most dedicated, loyal listeners in radio across this nation is because they have to be.
From day one.
The only ones
we've
that are
made them
left
fight
are the
through,
loyal
yes.
ones who will fight through everything.
Like the laddie said, you make them fight through the static because they want to hear your program so much.
You got to... Laddie, can we do anything about the signal? Maybe improve it? No. But you know what we got to do? Let's just make the content so good that they'll fight through the static. Wait, that's your solution to the static problem?
That's actually not terrible advice from the boss.
That's what we had to do. Anyway, this is interesting, though. I guess Ford, and it's not just Ford. There were a couple other major automakers, BMW and Tesla, have also pulled the AM band from their new vehicles. And Ford had done this. They had taken it out of their Lightning F-150 and the Mach-E or the E-Mach, whatever the Mustang is. I don't know why that's happening with electric vehicles. Is there some particular kind of interference that happens with the AM band? Why is it?
Yeah, I think I did hear that.
But Ford says they're going to add it back in, and for people that have the electric vehicles, they just do it with a software update. Mm-hmm. So the hardware is already installed.
Yeah, I don't know about
I figured that this was a cost-saving maneuver because
cob.
the AM reception device is like bulky, and they're like it's an added expense that not a lot of people are using. Ford says that only 5% of their drivers were listening to AM radio.
Well, it's okay. We need it. We need amplitude modulation. It's part of our emergency broadcast system.
That's the argument, is that, and Congress has been trying to pass this. The FCC was on our side on this, saying that AM radio is important for emergency broadcasts because, and you may think, well, why can't they just do it on FM? But AM signals, particularly ones like our sister station 820, which is a huge AM signal. I believe it is what's called a clear channel signal, which means that there's no other 820 AM in America. Mm-hmm. But it can carry all the way across America at night. You can hear WBAP at night.
The AM signal bounces, and as the atmospheric ceiling lowers, that's what causes it to bounce across the country. That's why you can hear stations 2,000 miles away.
And that's freaky.
It's awesome.
I've experienced that before, like not on a station like BAP, which is huge signal, but like the ticket. I remember driving somewhere in another part of the country, tuning in, and I was hitting the ticket. And it was just because the atmospheric conditions that day were bouncing the signal all the way across.
Mm-hmm. I remember calling our nighttime show when we were at the Super Bowl in Georgia, and they didn't believe me, but I was listening to them, and somehow it bounced in loud and clear in Georgia.
Speaking of the laddie, I remember when we were all in a rental car at the New Orleans Super Bowl, and we picked up the ticket.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at that same moment, you couldn't get it in Plano.
Right.
That's still
weird.
Magical to me. When I'm driving at night, I will listen for a game. See if I can get KMOX or KOA.
Mm-hmm.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Netflix is going to start charging an additional $8 per month for viewers who live outside the household. So if you're in a household that has like George, you have a situation where your kids live in a different town.
Yeah.
And they're probably on your Netflix account.
I think one or two of them are, yeah.
And that's the way it's been before, it's like, kids go to college or, now they're saying, we're cracking down on that. We're going to charge you an additional $8 per user outside your household.
People are going to be mad about that, but that's right.
I know.
That's the right thing.
We get something for free long enough, though.
I know.
And we don't want them. We're going to pay you.
Maybe a few other things that the kids ought to be knocked off of.
Yeah.
Now that they're over the age of 21.
It's amazing, the barnacles that kids become.
Well, I mean, you got that family plan, so it's fine, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I want to switch that out.
Yeah. I'm trying to make it convenient for you, Dad. I don't want you to have to switch out from the family plan. You seem real happy with it, Dad.
Yeah,
I'm concerned about your happiness, All right. Get ready to let your feet sweat. I'm just warning you, this is a very sad story. Because it involves a 20-year-old guy named Zachary Porter. He was in Alaska, and he was walking with a group of friends out on the Turnagain Arm, which is a 48-mile-long estuary carved out long ago by glaciers. And it travels from the Anchorage area and parallels a major highway, but it's like a huge mud flat, right? So low tide, you've ever seen that? The visual is really pretty when you see that flat mud flat that goes on for forever, you know, and it just looks like almost a different world you're in. He and his friends were walking along this. And what happens is when the tide starts coming back in, it fills up from the bottom. So the mud starts getting soft up under, you know,
like
several
quicksand.
feet under. And then it becomes quicksand.
Uh-oh.
And then you develop and if you've ever seen them trying to pull an animal or a person out of mud, the vacuum suction that happens when you're knee deep in you know, mud or quicksand, something like that, the vacuum is what holds you in there. Well, that's what happens to this 20-year-old kid. So his legs are stuck. His friends are around him. They aren't stuck. They call 911. They're trying to get emergency personnel coming. Meanwhile, the tide is just slowly creeping up.
Oh, my.
Slowly creeping up. Inch by inch going up. They couldn't get there in time.
Oh, no.
Drowned. What a slow-moving, horrible, way too much time to think and regret. And he's not the only one. This has happened like 8 times in that area. They have signs out there that warn people, don't play around with this.
They didn't have time to strap an airtight helmet on him?
No, give him a scuba tank.
Yeah.
And then wait for the tide to go back out before they start working again. Christy Peterson, who's the lead EMT of the volunteer fire department there, who was, you know, the head of this rescue, she said it's big, it's amazing, it's beautiful, and it's overwhelming, but you have to remember that it's Mother Nature, and she has no mercy for humanity.
Yes.
Which is unfair, and we need to pass some legislation that gets Mother Nature on board with our politics, which is that you don't do this to people.
What a terrible way to go.
Horrible.
Especially with all your friends around you panicking. And
I know. You're panic doing a Graham video. I saw that recently. I forget where this was. There was a construction worker. Did you see the story of the couple construction workers trapped in a fire? They were like on the 4th floor building of this building that they were working on. And dude like live streamed on Facebook saying, man, we're trapped up here. Got rags over their face trying to breathe, and somebody come help. Didn't make it. They weren't able to rescue these guys, but yet we're living in a world in which people's final moments, they live stream themselves.
And they're getting likes.
Things go viral in this world.
It's a weird situation we get put in when the only way you can really communicate back is to just like someone's video.
Mm-hmm.
That's your way of saying, hey, I'm with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean you like that I'm dying in this? No. I mean it in the more I'm with you way. Well, you're not with me because I'm the one here with the smoke. Anyway.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Those stories happen. Oh, and I didn't have time for Florida Guy. We got a good Florida Guy story at 9:15 today. So stay tuned for that.
Every day there's a good Florida Guy story.
I know. What's with Florida?
Why is
Florida
state?
such a wheels-off state? What is it? Is it because it started off as a penis colony?
Penal.
Oh.
You know my theory. It's because it's got so much coastline, and all the people who are down on their luck run to the coast. They run from their problems, and when they get to the coast,
And that's as far as you can go.
that's as far as you can go, so they just stay there.
All the unstable people in there. And then you also have the confluence of Deep South encroaching in on Florida, too,
Yeah.
which already has a lot of instability there, too.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a petri dish for unstable people. Alfred Molina, 70. John C. Reilly, 58.
Greatness.
Yeah.
What's his greatest role?
Step Brothers.
I don't know. I like the role of, it's going to be
Don't
hard on my
say
boys. It's going to be hard on my boys.
Never should have told you that.
I've never seen that movie, Perfect Storm.
It's pretty
Good movie.
Yeah.
We at some point we ought to do, the three of us come up with our top 3 movie scenes that just stayed with us and just we can't let go out of
I
our
thought
minds.
we've done that.
That'll be
We
easy.
can do it again.
What's yours?
I think it's the scene of Stanley Tucci in the cellar with the girl in the Lovely Bones.
Oh, I can't watch that.
It's awful. Awful.
It's pretty bad.
And that was before I had a daughter.
Uh-huh.
It's awful.
George, what's yours?
Well, last time we did this, I brought up that scene from Perfect Storm, and also in
and that's when he's once again the water slowly rising, and he's not going to make it. And
the last thing he says is, "It's going to be tough on my kids," as the water's
okay. All
right.
Mine,
that in the
in Saving Private Ryan with the
German.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Stabbing
is the knife gently.
It's awful.
How about? It's over. It's done.
It's fine.
That's
it's
all.
Done. It's done.
It's
I
okay.
won't watch that.
It's
You
fine.
guys
it's
quote
okay.
that one
When
all the
Albert
time.
Brooks kills that guy with a...
Bryan Cranston, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's done. It's done. It's okay.
It's over. It's fine.
It's okay.
It's fine. What do you mean? You just did that. Tommy Chong, 85.
Tickets on?
No.
Oh, that was
Cheech.
Yeah, Cheech.
Tracy McGrady, 44.
T-Mac.
Gary Berghoff from MASH, 80.
Radar.
Bob Dylan, 82.
Wow.
Whoa.
Good. Give me presents.
Patti LaBelle, 79. Bartolo Colon, 50.
You know, I miss the days when you used to do regular people birthdays and then sports birthdays, and now but the fact that they're all mixed together now is a good brain exercise.
It is sports.
Guitarist Rich Robinson of Black Crowes, 54. And Pat Verbeek is 59.
Just hopping all over
Beaker.
the place.
Not a numerical birthday
No,
or
right.
anything.
All right, that's Muse, 734 on the ticket. We thought we would call the Stars headquarters in Frisco and see if we can talk to Pete DeBoer, the head coach. We have a good relationship with the coach.
Yeah.
Of course, he's on with the Hardline every week. And so we think he'll talk to us.
Star Center in Frisco, home of the Western Conference finalist Dallas Stars. This is Myrtle. How may I help you?
Hi, could we talk to Pete DeBoer, please?
Okay. And he works for the Dallas Stars, does he?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
He's the coach.
And how do you spell the last name?
What are you
Oh, my
typing?
gosh.
How do you spell the last name, sir?
D, little e, capital B, O-E-R.
I'm not finding him. Could it be another head coach you're looking for?
No, you know who we're looking for. Come
Hold on. I'm checking my computer system. You don't have to get belligerent, sir.
Oh, sorry.
And what was the first name of the person you were seeking?
Pete. What are you typing?
Why is this taking so long?
Sorry, I was just finishing up my dream journal. What were you calling about? Oh, the Stars. That's right.
Yes.
And who in particular did you say?
Pete DeBoer.
Pete DeBoer. That's right. Okay. Okay, here we go. Funny story. It was listed under the B's as in bore rather than D, as in declining additional warranty coverage on a vehicle that you purchased several years ago to dependably get you to work or to school or something
We don't
like
need
that.
that.
Why is it so difficult to
ask who's calling?
Yeah, the ticket. It's the Musers on the ticket.
Okay. First name?
The
Okay. And last name?
Musers.
And would you like to round up to support local charities?
Sure.
And what station are you calling from?
KTCK AM FM stream.
Sounds like a pretty good station. I'm sorry, I'm not finding it. Are you sure that station
Myrtle.
is correct?
Yes, we've been around for a long time.
Sorry, our directory is sponsored by Ford, and they've removed all the AM stations, it looks like.
Oh, that's back on now. That's supposed to be back on.
Check last year's directory. Okay, here it is, KTCK. Funny story, for some reason it was listed under B, as in bad radio, as opposed to K, as in, like, K, let's go ahead and meet up.
We know what the letters are, yes.
Why is it so difficult to get a call to go through?
Oh, here we go. Hold, please. Hello?
Is this Coach DeBoer?
That's Coach DeBoer speaking.
Hey, it's the Musers on the ticket. How are you?
Oh, hey there, Musers. I gotta warn you, I'm in a little bit of a salty mood here. I'm really kind of darn tootin' because my team lost their hockey contest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a rough one.
Bad night.
Oh, geez, I tell you. I mean, pardon my French, but we just really didn't do so well.
Yeah, it's not that harsh, but the game was pretty bad.
It was, and I was thinking, oh, geez, here we go again with the whole loss thing, because they had beaten us like twice before or something like that in the series there, and but I was sitting there thinking that was a real beauty of a win for the Knights, eh?
It was.
I guess you could look at it that way, yeah.
It's pretty frustrating being the coach that was, losing that there hockey contest that they were having there.
Yeah. What do you think happened to your team last night?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I try to motivate these guys, but it's so hard,
Yeah.
Yelling when you're Canadian is just darn near an impossibility. So really hard to motivate them, with a big impassioned speech and whatnot and that.
Well, yeah, and you didn't get a whole lot of help from the players. Your captain, for one.
No, we didn't. As a matter of fact, you want to talk to Jamie? He's right here in my office. He was just telling me a story, and he fell asleep mid-sentence. So I got to wake him up for you. Hold on a second. Hey, Jamie, it's the Musers on the KTCK. That I think it starts with a B. I don't know how.
Why are they so confused by that?
Hello?
Hey, Jamie, it's the Musers.
Hi, what's happening?
Well, we have questions for you. Like, what happened what were you thinking early in the game with that cross-check and getting kicked out?
What time is it?
It's 8:47.
Oh, geez, I was sitting here talking to Coach and, talking and just...
Jamie?
You with us?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What?
Okay.
What did you ask?
Well, we just said, why'd you lose your head like that?
Well, I lost my cool and I got angry and, I pretty much knew we were going to get our asses kicked, so I just wanted out of the game, go watch the Celtics Heat play.
You wanted out of the game?
Just to go watch some NBA action.
Yeah, so, I took advantage of a cross-check and held the stick on the guy. And
yeah. That was pretty brutal.
Yeah, sometimes I just get real angry and
Jamie,
are you with us?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hey, do you guys know if melatonin is supposed to give you energy or?
No, the opposite.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that one's on me then.
So is this thing over now, you think?
Oh yeah, it's over. We're done.
Give me that earphone. That's not the kind of talk I want to hear out of you.
Hey, your captain just said you were done.
Hold on a second, guys. You're being and I don't like to say this very often, but you're being what I call a butthead. Sorry for the cussing there, guys.
That's all right.
All right, let's try to win at least one more game here, okay, guys?
Okay, let's pick it up in Game 4.
Okay, then. You guys take care there.
Okay, we'll see you. There goes the coach and the captain.
It's Gordo's Corner, brought to us by Tylock George Laser Eye Care and A1 Locksmith Security and Safes.
Thanks, Craig. Remember we were talking about the people not returning their carts in parking lots at supermarkets and things like that, big box stores. V1 Melinda says the problem I have regarding returning carts is that most stores don't have a return cart stall in the handicapped parking area. How do people in stores expect carts to be returned by people with disabilities? I guess she has some disabilities, and so...
Okay, yes. Well, there's a couple of carve-outs for people that have a hard time getting around.
Sure. This comes to us from Sportshead McGillicuddy. And I had it here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Hot dog.
I've done Musical Musers many times, as you guys have. I think yesterday I got the most response from Musical Musers with people showing solidarity with me. Here's P1 Jeffrey. He says, I'm right there with you, Gordo. I'm 55, very straight, and my Spotify is littered with young female artists like Dua Lipa and Olivia Rodrigo. In fact, Lana Del Rey has replaced Duran Duran as my favorite artist of all time. Smitty Werbs says, as a fellow teenage girl adult man... Hold on, need a moment. Yes, okay, all checks out.
Okay.
I'd like to recommend Phoebe Bridges. My favorite song of hers is Funeral. I think George will like her music a lot, too. And several people recommending different girl bands or female artists that have those banger songs that make you dolphin your hand out the window. Gordon.
Are we in a...
Gordon?
Circle of Trust?
No. Are we in a time period where there's been just some really good female artists in the last, say, 5 to 10 years?
I think so, because when I was thinking about this, like what male artists sing songs that are as popular and as anthemic as these female artist songs that we've been playing? I mean, people were saying they were bopping along to every one that we were playing yesterday.
Yeah.
And then
females have put out more bangers here the last 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they dominate that segment of the musical market.
That's a good one. Have female solo artists always dominated, though?
Yes.
Over male solo artists?
Males, they seem to be in bands.
Yeah.
Which this is strange to me, because in nature, it's usually females group up and males are kind of rogue, solitary people. But in music, it seems to be the opposite.
Yeah.
This comes to us from Tom Selleck's mustache. Gordon, couldn't agree with you more about the Musical Muser segment about men embracing the greatness of female artists. I'm a truck driver who has a farm, used to rodeo, chews tobacco, and loves whiskey more than water.
What a dude.
My friends used to rail on me about the songs I listened to from all the artists you played. You can add to that list Christina Perri, Paramore. Had several people recommend Paramore.
Not familiar.
Evanescence.
Oh,
hit one on there for George. And my all-time favorite female artist, Port Arthur's own Janis Joplin. She kind of doesn't fall into this category of the... She's more of like
a rock, hippie kind of thing.
Beatweeds.
Beatweeds is what Jimmy Johnson used to bully her and call her. They would laugh. My friends would laugh and never let me control the radio. Fast forward to us all now in our early 40s. And anytime we are together at a cookout or around the pool, when one of these jams comes on, you will see several fully bearded, dad-bod physiqued men with our arms up singing every word and feeling every lyric. Even our wives and kids don't get into it as much as we do. Men should know when a song is good and not be afraid to turn it up no matter the artist. Keep up the good work, my dancing queen. And that comes to us from Tom Selleck's mustache. So you know that he's manly. Speaking of awesome female voices, do you guys remember when Camille Cortinez came up in studio?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
the lottery song.
I became obsessed with her lottery song that James Henderson wrote, and he was up here as well. And I just was obsessed with this because Camille has one of those voices that just sounds like sunshine to me.
Yeah, beautiful voice.
And this song, I think, is awesome, too. It's real catchy and got some interesting chord changes in it for a song that was played on a commercial here on the ticket a lot. And we're going to certainly be playing it from my computer here, Tyler.
I've got a feeling and there's no concealing the fact that I'm excited and well beyond delighted. I found a parking space at the crowded marketplace, and what is more, it was 10 feet from the door.
Here we go.
And I said, yes, this might be my lucky day. I've got a notion to get myself in motion and see what love will bring, since I found this lucky thing when I found a parking space at the crowded marketplace. My spirit soared, I glided through the sliding doors as I said, yes, this might be my lucky day. Yes, it might be my lucky day today.
And then you have the donut here for the speaker to talk. But it has some cool chord changes here coming up at the end.
Maybe it's your lucky day.
Hear that piano in the background?
Oh, yeah.
That chord right there, that is the coolest chord on the piano.
Lottery? Is that what
that was for the lottery.
Yeah.
But
she has a good voice.
Oh, I know. I love her voice. And she performed on the old TV show that he used to do, and she's been in
She sang on her
bands
last
and everything.
record.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's done a lot of work here in town. And a lot of work in commercials and jingles. I think she sang the Hot Pocket song that Jim Gaffigan used to talk about in a stand-up.
Now she's in Captain and Camille.
Yeah. She's in Captain and Camille.
Yeah, they're great.
But yeah, she just sent me that. So thanks, Camille, for sending that in. I love that. Okay, Florida Man. You ready for Florida Man?
You bet.
There's no more.
Let's go to Florida.
Let's show Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Florida.
Count the red flags. The 23-year-old victim.
One.
Oh, boy.
Who was identified.
Two.
Anytime something is identified.
Yes.
Jordan Rivera is his name. He goes to a bar in Florida.
4.
It says he was last seen in the bar next to a pond.
5.
In Port Charlotte, Florida.
6.
The bar's name is Banditos.
7.
And they the news outlet talked to bar regular Manny Hidalgo. Hidalgo, is that how you say the name?
Mm-hmm.
Hidalgo. Who goes to the bar regularly with his cat, Mr. Tom. And while he's being interviewed by the news about what happened to Jordan Rivera, the cat is on his shoulder. Just draped on his shoulder. So he goes to the bar every night with a cat draped on his shoulder, and he just drinks, and the cat just lays there on his shoulder the whole time. It's the weirdest scene. But Manny says that he raced out to help Jordan Rivera after he heard screams just before 1:45 a.m.
Off.
Manny says he was yelling and swimming toward the shoreline. I ran and dragged him up onto the sand. I was scared to get close to the water because it was dark out. Did I think about the gator being in the water? Yes, I did. He told Wink News with Mr. Tom perched on his shoulder. They didn't need to add that detail. I was scared for sure, and then I noticed Jordan was missing an arm. It was literally chewed up. Once again, he's adding details that could have been more tastefully worded. From his hospital bed, Jordan Rivera said, quote, "Those gators, I didn't truly understand them until I woke up in the hospital and thought, oh, gator got your arm."
Well, fairly practical about it.
They got my elbow, so I don't have an elbow.
It makes it sound like they left the rest of the arm.
I know, yeah.
Just took the elbow.
The elbow, and then they
forearm.
had to fuse the lower part of his arm up to the upper part without the elbow. Yeah, and the victim's only 23, and listen how chill he is about this. He said he was unfazed. They talked to him in his hotel room. He's just laying in bed looking like, I don't care about nothing. He said, I didn't lose my life. I lost an arm. It's not the end of the world, you know.
Well,
okay,
yeah, lost half of it.
No one's dying.
He's right.
It's positive, and I
Thank you,
appreciate
Jason
that.
Kidd.
But shouldn't you be a little bit more phased?
Maybe he's still in shock.
Yeah, I guess so. When I was a kid, shock was always something that was real weird and scary to me, because people would be described as doing things in shock that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, and she lifted the car off her kid, held it above her head. She was in shock, so she could do that. It's like shock gave people magical powers and stuff.
See, the zombie effect of shock is what freaked me out, like the kid in Jaws. He's in shock because he's just...
just looking forward with eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Or someone stumbling towards you and both their arms are off, but they don't know it because they're in shock.
That always creeped me out, too, that it takes you to a place mentally where you're so detached from the horrific thing that's just happened to your body.
Right. You're in shock.
Don't touch him. He's in
Don't
shock.
touch him. You'll get shock all over you. Yeah, my mom told me that story about I always remember that one. The mom, she lifted the car off her kid.
Yeah, always heard that.
3-ton car.
Guy who bench pressed the tractor off of his kid or something.
Why is your mom almost disgusted by the story?
No, every story had that sound of disgust. Lifted it off the kid. The kid never was right again. Oh. Love saying that people weren't right again after that.
God,
Dad left them young, too.
I want her to do a whole show.
He ran around. He didn't treat her right.
Left them young.
Didn't treat her right. He partied. He did nothing but party. People were always doing nothing but something.
Right.
Did nothing but drink.
And their house was a den of sin.
Den of sin. It was a disaster zone, that house. They wouldn't clean up their yard. He was a smoker, lit one right off the other. Smoked in the shower.
You sure about that one?
I know. Everything had to always be amped up to like the extreme edge of the claim. Smoked one right off the other. He never owned a lighter. Lit one right off the other. So yeah, Florida man loses it. They found the 10.5-foot alligator. It was captured and humanely killed.
Okay.
Should it be an automatic death sentence?
Probably.
Why don't they just relocate the gator?
I know, that's what I think
further
too.
Out.
But since we're on the subject of Mother Keith, she would agree that the alligator needed to be put down because it had tasted human blood.
Right.
And once they get a taste of that,
it's all
over. Yeah. I mean, it will take out the whole town if you let it because it's had a taste of human blood.
Well, our thoughts and prayers are with that guy.
Yes. Well, he says he doesn't need them.
Oh, okay.
Because, it's just, all he did was lose an arm. It's not that big a deal.
All right. Well, that's the corner.
Well, look at this. A snake in the birdhouse.
Well, a corgi, actually.
Hi, Corby. Norm, Sean, how we doing out there?
We are doing great at Fan and Tree Farm. Could not be better.
I'm glad you mentioned Sean, unlike Kevin Von Erich, who kept calling Sean Norm yesterday when he answered questions.
Yeah, he got the Norm.
I heard that.
He did. He got the Norm route.
That was awesome. Everybody's Norm.
Yep. The Norm and Norm show.
All right, so we'll be out there at Fan and Tree Farm in a couple hours ourselves, so keep the seats warm. First question for the Birdhouse. Who would cave first? Norm watching every single Fast and Furious movie, or Donovan having to watch every Wes Anderson film in succession?
Donovan would cave within 10 minutes of a Wes Anderson movie.
I'd have beaten him there.
I think you would actually probably...
almost had you.
You would probably dig some of the Fast and Furious. I know it's just kind of brain candy, but I think you would... If you had to settle in for a number of them, you would probably like it more than you probably let on.
Did they save money by just shooting like 3 car scenes and they've spread them all out over 9 movies? No? Okay.
They're decent action.
Man, I don't think Norm could handle that. I really don't think he could handle that.
Thank you, Corby.
Yeah, but could Donovan handle Royal Tenenbaums or Bottle Rocket?
Dude. I'm good.
Yeah, he's good.
Royal Tenenbaums is one of the funniest movies ever made.
I think
Donovan would
agree
respect that.
It's pretty funny.
I don't know.
I agree.
I think Moonrise Kingdom totally tainted his perception of Wes Anderson.
It did, 100%. All right, you can retire now and live modestly but not luxuriously. But your favorite local sports team will win a championship the next year and you'll not be involved in it as a radio guy. Deal or no deal.
Okay,
I'm fine living modestly.
Yeah, deal.
Like
what is living modestly? I mean,
Norm doesn't know what that's like.
You have to get rid of one of the dogs because you can't afford them?
I don't know. Like you retire, but you can't really travel much, or I don't know. I think most people, when they retire, they don't retire in luxury. They retire modestly.
You have to watch your spending.
Yeah, they're able to retire, and so they do it.
Well, you know, I hate to say this.
I'm rich, pal.
But my life doesn't depend on one of the sports teams winning a championship.
No, it does not at all. And me being a part of it on the radio.
I'd just as soon hear about it as we're driving along the South Island of New Zealand.
Right. Maybe 2 days later. Like, oh, wow, look what happened.
Modestly. Hey, stopping at places that charge $3 for fish and chips.
Modestly driving. All right, if Sean could go back in time and do a ride-along with Letarian, who's the hood rat stuff kid.
Okay.
While he's doing that, or O.J. Simpson and Al Cowlings, who would he choose?
In the Bronco?
Hey, Twitter world.
I guess the question is, do I want to live the Kato Kalin life the rest of my life? And is that a good life? Or do I want to just experience how old was Letarian at the time? 7 or 8?
Yeah, wasn't he? Yeah, like second grade or something.
I mean, at least Al Cowlings was driving modestly down the road. I guess I would take the Bronco just because you're part of history, not just some viral internet meme.
Okay, I have a question. Let's put you in the Bronco. Are you in the front seat giving directions to Al Cowling, or are you in the back seat giving advice to OJ?
With a gun trained to his head?
Well, is that true?
With a pitchfork in your neck?
What advice would you give to Yeah, but what advice would you give to OJ? Like, what possibly...
Hey, stop!
Could you say at that point? I mean, he was cooked. Like, it was over.
Yeah, he had a gun to his head, thinking about ending it all in the back of that Bronco. I guess I would just be okay with navigating up front.
And hoping you don't hear a big sound from the back seat.
I don't want to be in the back seat like Marvin in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, gee. No, Marvin needed
all right,
a shower.
Norm.
Okay.
Would you grow what is left of your hair, meaning...
all 4 of them.
All 4 of them out to the end of time for you, and would you grow your mustache out as long as it would go to add another 12 years to your life?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But you can't trim the mustache.
So he looks like
you can't trim the mustache.
He looks like a Polish karate master up in the hills.
I'd put both the hair and the mustache in a bun.
Just bun it back. I do want to see you grow your hair out for a little while, though, just to see what we could get.
It won't be much, pal.
No, I know. I just want to see.
Yeah, but I have more hair than I appear. See, my hair is thin
it's all on your
and
back.
light colored.
What would Norm do that would be so out of character it would shock you the same way Benn's cross-check did last night?
I guess do the Benn cross-check to Travis the engineer. I don't know. Like, Norm often has a cane or walker.
What about like him doing, like we have some sort of ticket function or something like that, and we walk back there in the bathroom and he's just doing rails of cocaine.
Right off the toilet seat?
Yeah, like Lawrence Taylor did.
It would have to be a lot of cocaine with that schnoz.
I don't know what Norm could do that's completely out of character that would absolutely floor me.
How about the stanky leg at Summer Bash?
Dude.
Stanky leg.
That's now going to happen.
How about go get his own coffee?
I was going to say.
Oh, wait. Wait. I would like to ask Ryan Baldwin about that shot. How many cups of coffee he's ever gotten me?
This seems like I need to plead the fifth here and just back out.
He got you one yesterday, didn't he?
Literally yesterday.
And that's it.
Yeah. I would say maybe do your HR training on time. That would stun everyone.
A Cumulus media station.
Norm, do you drink coffee early in the morning throughout the show, or do you stop at a certain point?
No, drink throughout the show.
Yeah.
So how many cups of coffee?
Today I had, well, see, the ones here at Van and Tree Farm are good, but this only counts for a half for me.
Yeah, they're little. I've had 3 myself.
So I've had 2 full cups.
And didn't spill a one. I'm proud of you.
Right.
I'm proud of you.
I know.
So do you take one in the car with you from
Oh, yeah, I do. And about the DEI training. By all actuarial tables, I do not have long left to live. I've already exceeded the average age of an American male, so now I'm on American male borrowed time. And I am certain that at the time of my death,
you're making everybody uncomfortable.
When I say to God, can I just have back the hours I spent on DEI training? He's going to say, sorry.
Or you could live 12 more years with all the hair.
Yes.
That's right.
And no DEI training.
All right, growing up, which childhood Christmas birthday gift brought you the most joy? Norm, was it a rock?
Oh, you said a rock? Is that what you asked me for? Wow. A rock?
Was it the big hoop that you, ushered along with a stick?
Yeah.
Do you remember, a birthday gift that you got, Norm, as a kid that made you super happy?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I got a Fisher-Price farm where you had all the people and the animals, all that stuff.
Sure.
And one of the things I really liked about it was we had a cat named Pinky. and Pinky saw the Fisher-Price farm and thought, wow, downstairs looks like a great place to sleep. And that's where Pinky would go take naps, on the bottom floor of the Fisher-Price farm. I remember that, too, today. I also remember one year Pinky tried to climb the Christmas tree and pulled it over, thereby smashing a bunch of my mom's ornaments, and she was not happy.
Oh, no, and your dad shot Pinky.
My dad went
it was
out
okay
and did
back
a couple
then.
of lines. Yep.
You're right.
I guess for me, it's 8-bit Nintendo as a kid, or probably just bike. Having the bike and having the ability to just tool around the neighborhood, there was nothing like that.
Yeah. I would say so for
Pretty
sure.
generic, yeah.
For me, it was Stretch Armstrong, which was an old toy that you could pull the arms 17 feet on this toy. But then the goal was to always find out what was inside of Stretch Armstrong, so everybody cut theirs open. And then that football thing where you smack it and it kicked the ball. What was that called? Mr. Toe or something stupid like that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Doesn't Stretch Armstrong sound like a character from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
All right, a few
Sean,
more.
was 2011 your biggest sports letdown moment of all time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I still
Like,
think
not
about
even
it every
close,
day.
right?
Oh, it's not even close. And it's weird
Every
because
day?
that could have been, yes, that could have been the best, I don't know, 4 or 5 month stretch of our lives sports-wise here with the Mavericks doing what they did that summer. And then just to have that letdown. Yeah, it haunts me, man.
Every day you think of that?
Of course.
Do you know?
Because I think about the Rangers every day.
12 years down the line.
I know, but everything gets funneled through trying to, get better and win a title, and they came so close. So it's never too far away from the pinging around my brain.
Do you know Eric Nadel still has never watched that game? He's never watched that play happen in front of him again.
Talking about the Nelly Cruz?
Wow.
Man.
And he
we went back and watched that game during COVID. We all did on the show, and it was pretty cathartic and therapeutic, I would say.
What?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember how happy I was when Josh Hamilton hit the go-ahead home run, and I called my dad, and we thought we were celebrating what would have been something we thought we'd never see, and then it just all got taken away.
So Josh Hamilton hits the go-ahead home run. The Rangers give the game back. The next day in Game 7, Josh Hamilton hits a 2-run home run. And that's all the Rangers get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matty Harrison wasn't up to it.
No.
But they were up 2-0.
They were.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, sorry to end things on such a bummer, but
thanks,
the Rangers
Gordy.
are good again, Sean. They're good. They're good.
And they're up 3-0 right now.
Exactly.
All right, thank you, Snake.
Exactly.
We'll see you at Fan and Tree Farm later today.
YouTube.com/@SportsGreek.
Hang Zone coming at you.
Previously, in the hang zone.
Got some emails. Brandon Holloway says my daughter Ava Gina is 8.
Ava Gina.
Oh, is this fake?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
What are you doing?
Ava Gina.
That's what it says.
What are you doing?
You of all people.
What about like you got caught?
Did you write that email to yourself?
And his son Mafat.
Ava Gina.
Mafat? Mafat who?
Mafat Schlong.
Oh my gosh. Just when we thought.
How did you get busted with that?
Just when we thought all the jokes have been told.
Ava.
We find a new one.
You think there's no chance this guy has a daughter named Ava?
There's
and
never
he's just
been-
now learning. Like,
the
oh my God.
In the history of humanity, there's never been an Ava Gina.
No. Dude.
Oh, yes. That's phenomenal.
Oh. I seen a guy hanging out the window, screaming that his kids was in there and things like that. So I ran to the back door, see if it was open, and it was. I ran upstairs, but then I was greeted with smoke. I ran back downstairs. By that time, the ladder truck was pulling up, and ironically, one of my old coworkers took the ladder off the truck, raised it up, and was assisting people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. Wow. We was catching them, unlike Aguilar.
Why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer.
Why don't you stop being so confrontational, Dale?
I'm not the one staring at me.
So, Brennan, how about you? I know you used to work at PetSmart. Right?
That's right, Mr. Doback.
Call me Robert.
That's right, Robin.
Robert.
Actually, Brennan is a really talented person. He's a very gifted singer.
It's funny that you say that, because I can sing too. In fact, I'll sing right now. If you want to get down on these Harry, why don't you jump right in?
Hey.
It's a crotch party right up in here. Why don't you look on this big John?
Stop it, Dale. Stop it. Stop it.
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
That's so funny. The last time I heard that, I laughed so hard I fell off my dinosaur.
Stop right now, all right? Let's just back off. All right. Brennan, it's okay. It's okay. Great,
You
Dale.
said a mean thing first.
All right, okay.
We have my boyfriend Steve is 36 years old today. Leaders are Dan and Jake.
Do you know what day this was?
From hot 46-year-old girlfriend Plashley.
It was yesterday.
All right.
How am I just not hearing this?
All right, now that I'm looking at
I didn't notice it for 2 seconds yesterday, and I don't think anyone else did either, but...
Okay, I want to do something here.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting name.
Hang zone coming at you. Hang zone coming at you.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's Carol Baskin, and I never listen to Dan and Jake on the ticket.
Okay, stop. Just stop for a second, okay? Just stop for a second. At some point, we as a society just decided to accept holograms.
It's just afternoon on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310 The Ticket. So pop that lunch on your car tray, sit back, and hang in the hang zone.
Made it a 6-way tie for the lead, but a bogey moments ago drops him to -2. Jordan Spieth spins in a birdie at 3 after a beautiful approach.
Featuring
the devil himself, Matt Birmingham.
Arrested Development feeling blue.
The Patriots equipment manager.
Chemtrails.
Blake Jones. Who Blake Jones?
Have you been to the bathroom yet?
And now, your hang zone hosts. From noon to 3, it's Jake Kemp and Dan McDowell.
Let's be great, 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 let's be
Wow. And all right. Hey,
All right.
happy Wednesday.
All
Happy Dan and Jake Together, show number 790. 790, bruv. Got an email from P1 Scott. Could this be the
Doesn't
best
have a
friend?
sister.
Potentially the best friend of Seabass.
He's right here.
What a lucky guy that would be.
He'd probably just be able to read the email from the syntax, say, my Scott or not my Scott, you know? That's how it is with best friends.
Oh, it can't be Sean's best friend. He leads off with, big fan of you, Jake, in the Hang Zone.
Yeah,
So we know
probably not.
Sean wouldn't allow that. I think I heard you say your show number 800 would be on June 8th. Did I say that? I say so many things.
You do,
man.
yeah.
He says, great symmetry and symbolism for me. It's my 3rd anniversary of successful open heart surgery on June 8th. If it was not successful, I'd be dead, he says.
And also, I mean, the guy's got a fake heart, so he could be dead by June 8th. It's certainly possible.
He said, would appreciate a shout-out so we can continue to irritate Jake at the top of the show, from Scott.
You know, Scott, I want to dedicate our octocentenary program to you and your new baboon heart.
Okay, will you remember that, Jake, or Blake? Because we won't.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll mention it now, Scott, and probably won't remember it on June 8th. Because we'll have so many other show 800 things planned. You know, that's a milestone. That's big. You know what else is big?
I have a pretty good idea, yeah.
Being at Fan and Tree Farm. That's where we are today.
I was going to say just the 20 acres of inventory right here at the Frisco sales lot. That's a lot of acres.
That is a lot of acres. Have you walked it and had one of those rolly things to measure?
No, but you know what I do, though.
What is that called? Do you know what I'm talking about?
That they use, like surveyors use?
Yeah, it's a rolly. It looks like it's just rolling along.
Counter? That can't be official.
I don't know. He looks like a man.
He does. That's why I went to him first. No,
Yeah,
what I
you
do
don't look
is
like a man.
I show up a couple hours early for every Fan and Tree Farm appearance, and I walk barefoot.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And I just sort of let the grass
Kind of like
feed
Jim
the
Nance.
energy. Exactly.
Walking the hallowed course of the Masters.
Sipping a glass of wine.
That's right.
From your vineyard.
The calling.
Yeah.
Go to
Fan
your
and Tree
happy
Farm.
place.
So, you know, it's Memorial Day coming up Monday, so we have a long weekend. And apparently also this is Texas Water Smart tax-free holiday weekend. And Fannin, many people would say, well, we'll close on Monday.
Right.
Not
yeah.
Fannin. They're dedicated to you and to selling great trees here at Fannin Tree Farm on I can't even remember the name of the
Texas
street
Water
now.
Smart tax-free.
No,
okay. In between
where we
Independence
are.
and Custer in Frisco.
114. Right? Wait. 121.
121.
121. 114's down there. I don't know, man. It's
You
been
can
a long
find
night.
it. Put it in your phone. They have a lot of trees.
Fannin Tree Farm. We all know the song. Maybe we'll sing it at Summer Bash.
Ooh. I like that idea.
In a couple of weeks.
Blake has a tree from Fan and Tree Farm. They came and planted it at his home for him. A lot of people are like, I want to go buy a tree, but I only have this mid-sized sedan.
No. You don't have to bring it home yourself.
No.
Insane.
You don't. All you have to do is point at the ground where you want it, and they do the rest. You don't have to transport it. You don't have to plant it yourself.
They have
Nothing.
magic beans. They plant them, and then they grow. It just grows right in front of you. It's amazing.
And spring, Dan,
Maybe.
a great time to buy shade and ornamental trees. And I just like to imagine Blake curling up with his favorite book that he told us about the other day underneath the shade of his Brooks tree.
Do you want to follow up on that?
Yeah, so my wife had a note on Monday's Open.
What was your book?
The Woman in the Window.
The Woman in the Window by?
A.J. Finn.
So I'd never heard of this book.
As you shouldn't.
But, you know, she hears Dan talk about books about, you know, World War II or Me, like, I've just finished this book about the Golden State Warriors, and those are the books we talk about here because we're men.
Yeah, we're bros.
And then on Monday, her first review of the show was just, Blake is reading books that you get suggestions for reading, like, on the beach.
Yeah.
Like for your women's book club.
And I said that during the segment.
Yeah, well,
I read like
it was confirmed.
Like, has a man ever read The Woman in the Window?
No. But I said I read like a middle-aged woman now.
But it's
I
your
like
guilty
these little
pleasure?
thrillers. Yeah.
What is it? Is it hot and steamy?
No, it does not have
That
a man
very
and a woman
Uncle
on
Dan.
the cover.
It's what?
It's just a nice kind of elementary thriller. It's an easy read.
It's a thriller, but there's certainly some hot and steamy components to it, right? Like there's a woman who somehow was wronged.
Is there a sex scene?
Almost certainly by a man.
No, not really. There is a lovemaking scene, but that does not go into it.
Well,
so to speak.
The wife dunked on you, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, as she should. And I prefaced that in the segment.
Okay.
And I don't feel bad about it. I enjoy those books.
Like, do you have another A.J. Finn book you're working on now?
No. I don't know what I'm going to read next. I may go back to Donald Ray Pollock, your guy, Dan.
You could make your 10th pass at the Notebook.
Yeah, my sod-level trek through the Notebook.
That's right. He only
I don't
reads.
know about that.
He reads the Notebook every July and August.
Every other book, I read the Notebook, just like sod.
Is that a book? I don't know the Notebook.
Yeah, you know the movie, right? This is
No.
a guy who did not ever have to try to get laid in 2003.
Why, you had to be familiar with this if you were out?
There was a point where I probably knew every word of the movie.
The Notebook. Yeah, I've heard of the movie, but I haven't seen. You know what? That's a great segue because we got a movie tonight, bruv. It's the Hang Zone's High Tea Movie of the Month tonight. It's at the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema as usual, but it's at the Lake Highlands location, so we don't often go there. And it's Fast X, the highest of tea movies.
I can't wait.
Alamo.
I know it made its debut last week, so we're a week late, but we had Camp Hound. We've been busy. Quit yelling at us. And I thought it would sell out right away just because when we did the original Fast, it sold out right away. When we did Point Break, which is Fast and Furious is Point Break with cars.
I concede that point, which is fine. I'm a huge fan of both.
Yeah, that sold out right away. It's not sold out yet. So if you want to go, let me just tell you how to do so. Just go to drafthouse.com. Start typing in Fast X, and then you'll see the ticket logo pop up, and you can join us. And I'm going to throw out a couple of little incentives. One is for one person. Blake suggested this via text to us this weekend. And it is, I went and bought it. So this is out of my own pocket. I went online and bought the Fast and Furious 9 movie collection.
Wow.
The entire Blu-ray. Oh, and digital code. So if you have this.
That's key.
This is not just Blu-ray because I was thinking after I bought it.
You'd have to,
man.
boy, I hope they'll let me into a local nursing home to find a Blu-ray player. But no, digital codes.
You get the code. They're using code names on this one. So if you would like to win this, I think Jordan has kind of a wacky bit.
He's Jordan.
Jordan, who runs the Alamo, with an iron fist, by the way. Very dictatorial, but that's the way it has to be sometimes, just to get everything perfect. He's got some kind of a, I believe, Corona-based bit in the beginning of the before the movie starts.
You can have any brew you want.
And so how about the winner of that bit gets this?
I love it.
The 9 movie collection. Then they could share the code with us. Can you do that? I know Netflix is cracking down on sharing.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, you have to give us the code just to see if we can share it. And then we can watch it all at the very same time. We'll sync it up. I love to sync it up when I'm watching a video. Also, incentivize. So that's good, but I hate giveaways sometimes that are for one person, because then you're going to leave, 100 people high and dry. They're going to be upset, and you got one person happy.
At least in this case, you have to actually perform a feat of strength.
Yeah, and you're
rather than just
entertaining.
be one of the first 10% of fans to arrive at the ballpark.
So that's another thing I really hate. I
Right.
hate when it's the first 5,000 fans get this. How about this? Company who's sponsoring giveaway. How about all fans? Buy 40,000 mini bats and give those away. How about you come to this game? We're not going to get up your rear end about getting here on time. We know life is busy. Whenever you get here, you got a mini bat. You got a mini helmet.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really imagine that the cost of production on those items is prohibitive to just making a couple thousand more. However,
Especially
I've
for
never
those-
actually done that. So I don't know if is it just marketing? Like, is there a lady there with a clicker? And you walk up with your
No, they only
your-
buy
your
10,000 of
sick
them.
child.
They only
But
buy
are you
5,000
sure?
of them. No.
They may just have tons and tons of them and never cut anybody off, because I can't imagine some grandma usher in Arlington is sitting there clicking, and you're sick kid, he's bald and stuff. You walk up, and she's, no, 5,001. I don't know.
No, I've been to like a mini bat game or something where other people are carrying them around, but they didn't have any when I walked in.
Okay.
So, no, I can guarantee that, because I don't get there early, dude.
Yeah, but you used to.
I've been through this, though. Yeah, I used to, because I was incentivized by that. Anyway, so we're going to incentivize you, perhaps. Not you, because you already got one.
Okay.
But how about every person who goes to the movie will get a brand new, this is hot off the press, this is bought with our own money, by the way, and we're not a big corporation who could easily afford another 10,000 mini bats. This is a Hang Zone dental floss.
Look
right
at that,
here.
folks.
It's labeled. It says the Hang Zone. You're going to eat popcorn, and then you're going to have a dental floss to kind of clean things up. It'll be great.
We want to help you live longer. Flossing helps with heart health.
How is that? I've heard that. Why? That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
like if you're
anything
mouth
I
goes
try
bad,
to say right now is going to be super dumb zone, but I think it's just your gums.
Plaque.
Your
And the plaque,
blood.
the plaque can break off of your teeth and go down and get into your heart.
the plaque breaks off your teeth, goes under the gum, finds its way in a vein, and then goes into your heart.
You swallow
That's
it,
what
too,
we're
right?
reporting here?
Yeah, and you can just swallow it.
Oh, and then you swallow it, and it just it leaves the stomach and
It
goes
just
right
figure-
for the
yeah,
heart.
It doesn't have to have like sonar on it, like a heat-seeking piece of plaque. Yeah, you just swallow it, I think.
So does it give it like a total eclipse
That I don't know.
of the heart?
Of the heart, yeah. Third incentive.
No?
He hasn't necessarily consented to this, but my brother is driving up from New Orleans right now.
Wait, Joe Kemp?
He's never been to a ticket event.
On Memorial Day weekend eve?
He's coming up for the weekend.
And he's...
Courage. And I'll say...
Well, actually, I don't...
Photos with Joe.
I don't think you... Memorial Day is about those who have died.
No, he did not die serving.
So we're like, we shouldn't do anything special for him.
He's not exactly calling for anything special, other than
okay.
maybe floss, and he's going to come to the movie with us.
Would he throw a tight spiral if somebody had a football?
There's no doubt. There is no doubt.
Will he be the best football player in the theater tonight?
Boy, that's a good question. I'd have to think so.
What if Dat Wen showed up?
I think what's great about being a quarterback, probably similar to being a guy who just is great with the iron game, you know, in golf. Like, I'm pretty sure my brother will be able to be the guy with the best arm anywhere he is until he's 50 or 60. But if you're a linebacker, you have to try to tell people,
Yeah,
you know, actually I used to rush the passer. I know I look like this now. But with him, I think he can probably still spin it, Blake.
Was he baseball pitcher too?
He's a shortstop.
Okay, yeah. All right, well, yeah, so Jake's brother Joe will be there, former quarterback of Tulane.
Can't wait.
Former Marine. Actually, you're always a
Always Marine, sir.
I believe, and he'll just ask him.
He'll throw you floss. That's what we'll do. We'll have him throwing floss.
Okay, to each seat.
To each seat.
All right, so yeah, go to drafthouse.com. You can join us tonight at the movie of the month. It's Fast X, which should be a lot of fun at the Lake Highlands Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. All right, so we're out at Fannin. We have two big sports topics to get into. Now, Ted Emmerich will be here to talk golf after the 1:30 news. Is that true, Blake?
It is.
Live, in person?
Yes.
A Ted Emmerich appearance, girls. But we'll probably talk a lot of stuff with him. He's Ted Emmerich. We don't have to just focus on golf. But I think we're going to just focus on one other sport before the 1:30 news. And that is hockey. Yeah, 3 segments of hockey.
There was a lot there.
There is a lot there. It was a horrible, horrible night. We'll start into that right after this.
Here's Jake with the 1:30 news.
All right, thank you, Blake. Thank you, Shovel Girl and Halo God Guy. Here he is, Ham.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Milestone Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and more.
Okay, the 18th is a Wednesday. The 21st is a Saturday. That means Nate Bargatze in studio one of those days, Blake.
Let's do it.
I don't think Blake can do it.
Probably not.
He's a pretty big deal now.
I don't want to hear probably not.
Well, I'm not going to fall for this reverse psychology.
That's worked so many times. You got a Shovel Girl.
I told you you'd never be able to book Ted Emmerich. And look who's sitting here.
And look what happened.
Ted
Joins
Emmerich.
us live at Fannin a Tree Farm.
So happy to celebrate Arbor Day with you guys here at Fannin
It's
Tree
not
Farm.
Arbor Day.
Oh, okay.
It's not Texas Arbor Day. And let's just keep the comedy
It's
with
Hank-
the copy points to us, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's Texas Smart Tax
A lot of copy
free
points.
holiday weekend. Okay. And we have food out here if you'd like to come visit. We also have, what did you call those things, Dan, that you said there are 40 of them in a box right there?
Like the beer holder.
Koozie?
Beer warmers, yeah.
I just got to hear, Ted got to hear a Words with Dan off the air. He said, I got you a beer holder.
Well, isn't it?
Yes. Right up there with head bones, among many others.
It is.
Or
just
Rolly thing from
usually-
earlier this show.
Usually koozie.
Okay. Well, yeah, I got
Commonly.
Ted 40 of those that say Fannin Tree Farm on them.
Dana Bill
Man,
is headed
thank you.
to Governor Abbott's desk, which would do away with the state requirement for yearly safety inspections of non-commercial vehicles. So your state reg, an inspection. I guess you'd still have to have it registered, but you would no longer.
There's no
have
way
to-
they'll pass that. Because that's a lot of money that we give to the state every year, right?
I've already got eye glaze, one story into the 130.
So I think what they would do is they would just make your inspection more expensive, or excuse me, your registration more expensive.
Yeah, they wouldn't lose out on that money.
It's about
But at least take the step away from
yes.
the step of having to go get a state inspection.
Did not know this, but Texas is currently one of just 13 states that require the annual safety inspections.
Mm.
And hasn't the process changed like in the last 10 or 15 years or so? I feel like now you can just go get the inspection done, and you have that paperwork, and then you can go do registration.
It's-
Right,
have to-
then it's in the system.
It's just
and
one
you can
sticker now,
register
too.
online.
One
Yeah,
sticker.
one
Maybe that's
sticker,
what I'm
yeah.
thinking of.
When I get an oil change, though, because we had to do an out-of-state one for my daughter's car, or it's a Texas car, but she didn't, the registration came due, but she's in college. So when she got back, she got an oil change, but we didn't have to mail that paperwork in. It's just automatically, it's in the system. Computers,
man.
Nowadays.
Just insane.
Can they get rid of the $1 online processing fee or whatever it is?
How about when they ask, do you want to donate to the whatever political fund?
Yeah, that's a tough
Who
one.
does that?
Because I think a lot of times
Ty.
they make
Libs.
They make it mothers
Libs.
against drunk driving, which is you feel like a bigger jerk
I gotta
to pass
process-
on that one.
I gotta feed
Then when
today,
you're buying
Ted.
a $90 bag of dog food, and like, would you like to save a pet?
I got a fee to tell you about.
It's the equivalent of the tip at the
Yeah,
robot checkout
right.
stand.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's
Dana's searching for something.
It's a fee that I got today. It's in my junk mail. So hold on a second here. Saved it. Here it is. So when I visited my daughter to pick her up from college, I went through a toll. And they actually had a phone number to call if you don't have a toll tag. So I called it and got my credit card charged with a couple bucks. But I didn't want to get the big fee, the $25 fee. So it turns out Hertz, or whatever car rental place I used.
Yeah, Hertz, doesn't it?
They have a plate pass. Says they allow customers to use cashless lanes or without a whatever, blah, blah, blah. So they gave me a charge for the toll, 89 cents, and then it says convenience fee, $9.99.
That was convenient.
It was convenient.
Deceit.
But was there
that's just a made-up number.
Was there any other alternative?
But it was a made-up
that made
number.
that convenient. Exactly.
Right.
They can charge whatever they want to.
Did you have the option of loading up a pack of mules in a caravan and taking the money directly to them? Very inconvenient if you had to do that. No. The convenient way was the only way, and they charged you the same price as the toll. That's
I
tough.
guess I've never been upset at the bank charging you a couple dollars to withdraw from a different bank, just because I figure, well, I am paying $2, so I don't have to drive down the street to my other bank. So, okay, I'll do that.
Or
I want that money now.
I am here at the strip club.
Well, you know.
Right, they're one ATM. It's $5 to
$5.
More than
both
that.
of us. guy in the crowd almost just spit up his sandwich. $5.
It's only $5 for ATM.
Okay.
I think more at the strip club. Really?
No,
From what you
two
hear.
different conversations happening right now.
Hey,
which
as long
is
as
fine.
the whole audience is served.
Yep. Never good news when a counselor's Facebook post is in the news. And in this case, we're talking about O.D. Wyatt High School in Fort Worth. You ever called any of their games? Almost certainly, right?
No, I don't think so.
What are they playing?
Wyatt.
Man, I think Argyle played them recently, but I don't remember what they are.
Panthers? Question mark?
The Rebs?
No.
Hot dog?
No.
Chaparrals.
Yes, the O.D. Wyatt hot dogs.
So the issue here is that they had a school
Chaparrals.
counselor who posted photos on Facebook with the caption, "Today was an epic day at work. If you haven't been in a high school in the ghetto lately, this is 100% how our students dress." So
great.
Right out of the gate, you're a counselor in a impoverished area, and she just says, "Hey, I work in the ghetto. If you haven't been to one of our schools lately." So what was happening at this school, quote, in the ghetto, was that they had Dress Like a Student Day.
Oh, no.
Oh, so the teachers.
No.
Yeah, Wyatt, 56% Hispanic, 37% black, 4% Asian, and about 3% white. So the teachers, administrators, counselors are dressed, quote, like a student on this day. She continued in the caption, "This is 100% how our students dress. Girls in their hair bonnets, everyone in pajamas, slides, blankets."
Blankets.
The first two pics are my fave. One of the coaches was sagging with his grill.
Okay.
And Miss Cook was sporting her court-ordered ankle bracelet.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
She walked this post off with, "I cannot recall
Nice.
having this much fun at work in forever."
So much fun.
Thumbs down.
All right.
Are you really interested
No.
in this story, Dan?
He's zooming in on the racist photos of the counselors and teachers.
I want to take a look at his grill. Is it authentic?
Are you trying to determine whether or not she should have gotten a pass because some of the teachers are, in fact, not white?
No, that's
Okay.
not what I said.
Well,
I
you
didn't
were-
say anything. I'm just looking.
Okay.
Dan McDowell.
Because the teacher that
What? You
has
can't attribute things to me if I'm not saying them.
I was just asking because you were zooming in.
Yeah. No,
And I didn't look like you were zooming in to see if you were interested in her, so...
Well, she had hot ankle.
I thought
hot wrist.
I thought the guy might have been in blackface, but I'm not sure that he's white. It
Uh,
looks like his arm is white from back here. I'm 10 feet away.
I'm just kidding.
That arm looks
Thanks,
white.
Elf.
She couldn't
That's a white
hold.
arm, dude.
She couldn't hold off. She's got like a few days before the end of school, and she had to put this out there.
Well, why would the school even do this? You're just inviting.
It's not a good idea. We'll address that in a second. I'm just going to say, if this local teacher really did have this degree of blackface on, we would have led with that. Like that's.
Look at his arm. Then he's got white arm.
I haven't heard of that.
There's weird arm and there's white arm. Both are afflictions.
Are you going to deny? I'm pretty far away.
It could be
It's the light. I think it's the light, Dan. I hear what you're saying.
I do not wear my
I
glasses.
acknowledge
I'm
you.
nearsighted.
You're seeing
and I'm
right
seeing
now.
a white arm, and okay, yeah, it's shadows.
It's not
shadows.
it's not
Dan
a white arm.
McDowell.
No,
I said those things.
but yeah, I think that would have been the lead, right? Not,
Here's what I
not
think.
the grill.
As a father,
Yes.
As a girl dad.
as a girl dad, hashtag. I'd like to say, I think all schools should have dress codes.
Wow.
Because it was a problem for my kids just, I don't know, just having the clothes and keeping up with those who have better clothes and nice clothes. Or
I wore a uniform every day from first grade to senior year of high school. And
What was that?
At the time, you thought it was a beating. But, yeah, exactly. Put that on the bragging montage. But it removed a lot of, what am I going to wear? And, am I cool? It's like we're all wearing the same thing.
yeah, it removed social pressures.
Yeah.
It removed, financially, if certain families are, more well off and can afford different things.
Yeah, and I think they make them pretty affordable.
The
just the standard issue uniform that you get from
And it doesn't have to be a
uniform
tie or
company.
anything, just, whatever.
Yeah, I think pretty normal is just like
Just an
polo.
orange jumpsuit.
Okay.
It's just polo and khakis.
Again, not dressed like a student day, Dan.
The tough thing, though, is that when you see it, the same thing for male and female, and they make the females wear the polo. You know what I mean? Like, guys wear polos normally. But
What's a polo? Is that a golf shirt?
Okay.
What?
No,
Isn't a polo?
You're being.
Is a polo buttoned down the whole thing?
No,
Dan.
it doesn't button down the whole
So
thing.
it's a golf shirt.
Yes, it's a golf shirt.
Sure.
Okay. There
it's
are
a common synonym.
there are dress
for a
shirts.
golf shirt.
But if you told me, hey, go put on a polo, I'd be like, all right.
What's that? T-shirt?
Well, I knew it wasn't a T-shirt.
Because that one's
Dan
got right there
McDowell.
the marquee
But they do have
T,
the-
and he can.
What do you call a dress shirt? The short sleeve, white dress shirt that's buttoned down.
It's just a button down.
Yeah, I think you just go button down.
All right. Okay, well, I knew it was a golf shirt, and I wanted a little confirmation from my friends, and all I got was Eston.
Well, you deserved it.
Just a collared shirt.
Collared shirt, yeah, that leaves a little bit of ambiguity as to whether or not it's full button down or not. But do you see what I'm saying though? Like, I don't know that many like high school age females are fired up to wear a polo.
No, but
it's
if
for a lot of
everybody-
dudes, they're like, yeah, it's just what I wear to grandma's house or what I wear to
Right,
church.
right.
It's just, there's plenty of instances where they wear that shirt.
Well, maybe
Females
then
would never wear it.
Maybe the uniform should be tube tops then
For everyone.
girls.
Everyone
girls.
did.
Yes.
Does
So-
that exist nowadays? Tube top,
Feels like they peaked.
like in the
Like-
70s.
Oh no, with at least the resurgence of them peaked with like Britney. The Britney Spears tube top was an error.
Top of the line.
Yeah.
How's
There's
she
a
doing?
Rolling Stone cover.
We haven't heard
along
from her
the way.
lately.
Yeah.
She's
You all
not
right?
doing well.
Not great.
No.
Remember, there was a time when Blake was like our man on the scene for Leave Britney Alone.
Hashtag free Britney.
Well, then she's freed.
I think they did free her. I
And
just
you
don't know
think
if she's
since
thriving.
then things are going poorly, Blake?
Yeah, she's pretty insane. And a lot of people think that the Britney we're seeing is not the real Britney Spears.
Oh, I love stuff like
Go
this.
on.
Oh, fantastic.
Isn't this
Hollow Britney.
from the
Hologram
makers
Britney.
from the makers of Katy Perry is actually just Avril Lavigne?
No.
You guys familiar with that one?
No. Have not heard that
No,
one.
Katy
Oh, yeah.
Perry is John Benet Ramsey.
Katy Perry's John Benet Ramsey. That's right.
Wow.
That's
What?
right.
Look it up.
If she was, Jake
Avril
would know
Lavigne
that.
was in there somehow. So they think we have a lizard Britney.
Basically, yeah. Because she doesn't, according to them, doesn't look like the real Britney back in the day.
Yeah, it's 25 years later.
And she but also, like, her speech is different, and she's just insane. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm saying those are the reports.
Thank you for that report, Blake.
Reports
that are very convincing.
That feels like that's in air quotes.
Can I,
might be a stretch.
Dovetailing you're totally fine with everyone having to wear a uniform idea, just say, I don't know that we need dress like anything. Ever.
Libs.
Is it necessary? I mean, how many times do these go well?
Well, I don't know. You don't hear about those. They're not in the news.
My kid had dress like an old person day at her school this year.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
They've definitely done pajama day at my kid's school.
Pajama day is just a fun, we're all in a relaxed mood, relaxed vibe type thing.
Right.
We did dress like a teacher day, and it was fun. I had a teacher that had a bunch of chest hair, so we opened up the shirt. And
I'm sure he loved that.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Well, how about let
to
the
roast
kids
him.
do it?
Right.
But the
and
teachers,
only the kids.
Just be teachers. Be boring, be stuffy, wear your button-down short-sleeve shirts, collared shirts.
All right, that's going to do it for the 1:30 news today.
Once again, the Hang Zone presents Why Today Doesn't Suck.
Happy birthday, baby. Oh, yeah.
And now, here are your hosts, Jake Kemp and Dan McDowell.
It's a ticket for rep.
All right, that's right. At 2:55, one more time out here for us anyways, from Fannin Tree Farm. Here he is, the great Hambino.
Thank you, Jank. Thank you, Eatsy's Market and Bakery. Here's Simply the Dan.
Simply the Dan.
Joining us now, it's still Ted Emmerich, who's hanging out all day.
Teddy.
The great Ted Emmerich.
Corgi!
How we doing?
And we have the hard line, which is Bob and Corby, Dave, and then back at the studio, Dave.
The Shard of Turin.
Tuddy.
More Corgi, the Shard of Turin, weekdays 3 to 7.
Going to Corgi, actually.
What's coming up on your show today?
Hey now.
Whew, we got, I think, Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali on at the same time.
To talk about Tina Turner?
Yeah.
Can I just congratulate you?
Me? Okay, this is not.
No,
where's
it's
this
never
Whatever
good.
this is always
Nah, you know that at this point you're on your heels.
about making
and
fun of me about
he's
something.
going to hit you with
It's
a
not
move
making
that.
You can't say it's making fun of you. It's just.
And see, what I'm doing right now is rolling through all the kind of dumb things.
No,
that
come
you
on.
said today,
There's no question what I'm going to bring up.
And that I said.
I've never heard anyone on this station ask, what is a polo before?
I thought he was going to bring a beer holder.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
We did have a couple of words with Dan today.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Beer holder.
I'm just confirming
You're
what I had
one
already
of the
thought.
smartest people I've ever met, and yet you
I'm
ask, what
confirming
is
that
a polo
It's a
today?
polo, right?
It's like Coco learning sign language. My cold cup.
This is wrong.
My koozie. My cold cup.
I don't like the way they're doing you.
I'd like them to do me differently.
Yeah, I would too.
Had my
So to
lighter
speak.
out. It was amazing. It helped cheer me up on this rough day.
Is a polo a button down?
The whole Tina Turner thing.
Tina Turner, man.
Yeah.
You guys leave her alone.
Yeah, let's not undersell
Well,
it.
I mean-
Tina Turner was a huge deal.
I mean, you grew up in the 80s. Even though
Oh
she
yeah,
was
just fired up about Tina Turner.
she was a beating, but if you look back in the 60s, man,
Well, she took a beating.
that's what. Whoa.
Jeez.
Whoa.
Damn it.
It was more the
There
70s,
he is.
wasn't it?
Damn.
Whoa.
Well, they hooked up in the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the 60s.
That's when they started.
Yeah.
Daddy says she was the definition of what a legend is and should be. R.I.P. Tina.
Oh, my God.
He's right.
Do we have Tina Turner on Twitter?
Daddy's right.
And
Do we have
has
Daddy?
Daddy reached out to her?
Do we have Daddy booked to offer perspective?
There's no doubt.
Call him right now.
Daddy took his shot with Tina Turner.
She's 56 and gorgeous.
There it is.
She's a queen.
I believe she was.
Yes, Queen.
I believe she was the first musical artist in my music listening life that was automatic out anytime in the 80s. When they would mess up my mix of great pop songs of the 80s.
Lionel Richie wasn't far behind.
Fair.
Not the Commodores, though.
See if you can put somebody white on this list.
Journey.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Tiffany.
Every metal band that ever existed in the 80s. Poison. Just
Slow down
they're all
there,
white.
bro.
Today is Wednesday, May 24th, 144th day of the year. 221 days remain in 2023.
Footnote, Poison not on my list of Punch-Outs.
Interesting.
No.
That's why you guys make a great duo.
I had to hit record on my little tape player when Poison would pop on.
So this is the day, 1 year ago today, it was Uvalde, Texas. Gunman opening fire, killing 19 children and 2 teachers. Nothing funny about that. But I do note that lawmakers quickly sprang into action, passed gun control legislation that would ensure a tragedy like this would never happen again. So that.
Oh, right. Yeah, no.
Oh,
no.
No. Check John Cornyn's Twitter account.
Libs.
Yeah. Is that guy in Supermax or anything?
Is he alive?
Yeah.
Did they take the Uvalde guy alive?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No way.
Is he? He's alive. Is he dead?
I think he's a past person, Corby.
Yeah.
All right.
He's having not fun.
It's a fair question, but I think he's gonzo. After we gave him
It's
30
a fair
minutes.
question.
This is the
Because
first ever day
several
that the first
alive.
telegraph line was used. Samuel Morse transmitted the message. Message, what hath God wrought?
Wrought.
And then people were trying to figure out the answer, and he said it's rhetorical.
And then he said, actually, it's Corgi.
Going to Corgi, actually.
On this day in 2011, Oprah Winfrey.
Who? Winfrey.
Ted, you need to come around more. I think you bring this up.
Ted.
That's why we go.
Windforced.
It's better just to go one name, Oprah.
Yeah.
Oprah.
Harpo backwards.
One name. Sneak in the back door as often as possible.
Who are you, Seal?
Tape the final episode of her long-running talk show. And on this day in 2013, Jake, Toronto Mayor Rob Ford denied that he smoked crack.
Even though that settles it.
Then he later died of crack.
After
there was a
video showing him smoking crack.
Man.
Rob Ford.
So many hits. And he
Legend.
stayed mayor for a really long time. And I'm pretty sure his brother is very high up in whatever Canada calls their Senate.
And he's dead now, right?
The brother?
No, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Ford.
Did he die of crack?
And I think he died of a life of
broken heart.
Complications from
Sex,
crack.
cocaine, you name it.
You have to find the GIF for the video of when he was at, is it the Argonauts? He was at an Argonauts game, the Toronto football team, and he was doing like the fake take a snap thing with no center.
Oh, no.
And he's looking down the line each way, and he starts to backpedal and just falls over.
Well, it's like practicing golf.
Sure.
T1 birthdays, we have Brent Young.
This guy works on his game with no clubs all the time.
Oh, we know.
It's really paying off.
Brent Young would like Dale to tell him who won the World Series.
New champ.
I don't know, John. What are you
champs?
Says here, extra info, he has interacted with y'all at some movies of the months. He is the special teams coordinator at Rockwall.
Aha.
All right. Yellow Jackets.
What did we talk to him about?
He says not Rockwall Heath. Those are two totally different schools.
Yeah,
Probably
because
punting.
yes,
I feel like there was an incident, though, that he chimed in on.
The two punters.
no. I think we're confused, and this is why he always gets upset with us. His team didn't have two punters, but they did have
Three returners.
They had two kickers on every kickoff.
Yeah, you can never have too many kickers.
They're totally different movies.
And they would
Totally
run. He has like
different
a
types of-
the
15-minute
X,
video
right,
of their
cross.
onside kicks and
Yeah.
how they do them.
Yeah,
By
we're
the
gonna
way,
fake them out.
really enjoyed your appearance at the Birdhouse today. But it's so perfect to me that your favorite childhood toy was special teams related.
Mr. Toe.
Mr. Toe.
Super toe.
I really enjoyed.
I got a
I was
doll
sitting in my
that
car
Stretch
laughing
Armstrong
so hard.
and Toe Man.
Give me the kicker
Worst
doll.
superhero ever.
Well, you couldn't have a throwing doll where you hit the head. It can only kick.
I enjoyed Norm's favorite toy.
Rock.
I got a rock.
Stick.
The hoop and stick.
A puddle.
L4G, what was it called? The toe thing?
Super toe.
Super toe.
Super toe.
Super toe. It's badass, man.
Now from
Yeah,
Hasbro.
Very inspirational, Jake.
Sure.
Yeah, he'd kick a field goal all the way across my basement.
What's your next assignment, Ted?
I'm with Dan next Friday, filling in for Jake, I think.
It's a pretty
See
major,
if that lasts.
Not on my watch.
It's a major sporting event.
You request Monty.
After that, it is the
I
U.S.
usually just
Open.
request not
So I
to.
appreciate him giving me the due here of one day of
Where are you going
fill-in.
to stay in L.A.?
I will not be in L.A.
Oh, man.
I'm doing that from the house.
You're gone next Friday?
Disneyland. It's one day, buddy. Come on.
Libs.
You can do it. It's Ted.
Would you win a
That's
title?
what
You were just gone all week.
He just won himself a title. Where
I remember.
do you think he's going next?
Oh, my daughter
That's the
can't make it
past.
home.
I'm talking about the future. I look
She
ahead.
can't make it without me, her daddy.
She wouldn't know what to throw away if it wasn't for me.
Dan, did you have a garbage plate since you flew into Rochester? The famous garbage plate?
Yeah, tell us.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Is that at Wegmans?
It's just a bunch of food thrown together. It's a hangover cure. That's what it is. Hamburger and
I did
mashed
get
potato
wasted.
and macaroni.
Food.
And, well, yeah.
I got wasted.
Co-eds.
Disgusting.
Hit up a sorority party.
Patricia Molino's husband,
Dried coconut trails.
Alec, is 30, says here he listens to y'all every single day, and this would make his day. We're making
Thumbs
his
up.
day.
Good.
How about that?
Alec is 30.
Boy, this does just completely look like stoned friend in the kitchen at 4 a.m.
V1 wife Lacey
Alec
Ross
Got
is
some macaroni,
35.
Yeah.
potatoes.
Send
Her
to the
leader,
Rochester Dunham Zone.
her leader is anyone but Corby.
Oh,
That's a tough.
yeah, that's what I was hoping.
What are you going to
Hates
do?
you, bro.
What are you going to do?
What up, bitch?
If you have time, give this hypothetical to Bob. Do you have time?
I think he's asking if you have time.
Your sons could become elite pro athletes in any sport of your choosing,
You have
but
two
you could
sons.
never watch them play, not even highlights. Do you want that?
Ooh.
Wow.
I just want them to do what makes them happy, Dan.
You would have
This
to
isn't about
pick,
my dreams.
Yeah, but
No.
they would have like generational wealth, though.
That's the thing. Yeah, you pick.
You never work again.
Right. That's okay. I don't have to watch you.
I would rather them
In
get.
fact, it's a good excuse to not have to
Dan's excited about it.
take on the beating of watching your kids play sports.
I'll say
but
this.
what if you accidentally saw even a fraction of a second, your head would explode?
Like scanners.
Like a Running Man.
Right. Yeah.
I would say this. I would rather that they get Supermax
Like a highlight.
than to be put into Supermax.
Okay.
Never have it on Sports Center in the house.
Like you could pick cricket.
You could never watch sports again.
Cricket.
Yeah, you got to pick something that you'll never see.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're not going to make any money there.
Now, this is
Are
not
they?
the Aaron
Yes.
Rodgers scenario, though, where
Cricket-
you have no relationship
Or you
you-
could pick
with the
something
family.
Did you say they
just
couldn't
can't
make any
watch
money?
them.
Okay.
Or you could
Actually,
pick
this one makes
something
sense.
nobody
This is
else
not
would
Cricket
what is a
makes
polar.
money?
Dude, yeah. Huge money.
In
There
cricket?
are a substantial amount of
Cornhole.
people in India where cricket is very popular.
You pick them bad.
In fact, I think that's a lot of the reason Disney lost money recently.
I mean, even though Gojo
It was that of the world
is pumping
thing,
up
but I
their
think
Because they're
numbers
all
in
right.
India,
they
Yeah.
lost.
right.
They lost the rights to
Did a great
cricket.
news dump, though.
yeah, they
they
were able to
during the aftermath of the election. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
My friend Brandon is 40. His leader is Jake for being a golf hater,
Yeah.
but somehow knowing what a club pro is when the other two hang zone golf experts had no idea.
I was the closest.
How did Blake not know what
I
it
thought
was?
I was listening
Man.
to Rosengarten for a segment.
Yeah, the guy with the 120-mile-an-hour ball speed. As
He
he'll
didn't
tell
even know
you.
what it was. I like the guy who works in there, but I don't really know what he
just-
does.
He's like
sell
in
you a
the
shirt.
club.
Yeah, maybe serves you food.
Maybe he pops you bottles or something.
P1 Brown is 33. I might pull Trig tonight. Brown. Like to hear an EA drop.
How's his eye?
And P1 Sam in Houston is 29. His leader is Jake's Lake House all-you-can-eat buffet.
All you can eat. Yes. Never heard that one before.
Other birthdays, we have former Ranger Bartolo Colon, 50.
Didn't he have 6 feet or something like that?
It's every portly Latino pitcher now.
6 feet.
Former
extra something.
Not even
Cheeto
toe.
Bays.
Every one of
Or
them.
He threw a chair at the fan in
It's
the
like a centipede.
bullpen.
He's 28. Former star Pat Verbeek, 59.
Oh,
Little
Beaker.
ball of hate.
Beaker.
He did it
Former
the right way.
star and original Vegas Golden Knight Cody Eakin is 32.
Boo.
Was he on the list? Whatever the.
I think he's famous for giving Joe Pavelski a concussion, Dan.
Oh yeah.
What list? The Misfits?
Nah, the protected or non-protected.
Yeah.
Oh,
did they-
yeah.
That's how they got him.
I think we lost him that way. I don't know. Beats me.
Who do you think he's rooting for tonight? It's very interesting since they're not playing tonight.
Yeah.
I guess it makes it even more interesting.
Stuff there.
I just want Cody Eakin to be happy.
Like your kids.
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar, 30. Tracy McGrady, 44.
Is that Pedro's?
T-Mac.
I got a fast. I want to go.
That's Nelson De La Rosa.
Unlike Aguilar.
Unlike Aguilar.
Aguilar.
Yeah,
Baby's out the window.
Okay. Corby's favorite
UFC
80s
player.
act.
Is this
Nelson.
the universal
Oh, yeah,
sign
yeah.
for midget? Because you did. Is this Pedro's?
That's an
I
accordion
don't think
sign.
you can say that.
No, he can.
What, accordion?
You're doing the too small.
We can.
Nothing catches up. Yes, I was doing
Yes,
the
he
too
was
small.
doing the too small.
He's tough.
Like, did those guys from Ohio get fired for having what's his name on the air and saying all that stuff?
No way.
I don't think so.
Having Huggy Bear on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're laughing it up.
Swing state, yeah.
was that, Anthony?
Jim Mora is 88.
And that's kind of that guy's bit, Bill
Yeah.
Cunningham. Like
Brad-
looking back through his history.
Did you do the YouTube rabbit hole thing with
Yes.
his show? Yes.
Yeah,
It's
he's-
wild.
He's no stranger to the slur.
Okay.
Is that right?
I don't even know what you're talking about. Ohio guys.
Bob Huggins?
Bob Huggins.
Yeah, the Bob Huggins.
You were gone that
Oh,
week.
okay, yeah.
Catholic, you know.
Yeah, we do.
How'd you feel about that? We didn't get your comment.
Yeah.
Never has Dan been missed more.
It's a very intense rivalry there. Was it Wright State?
Xavier.
Cincinnati
Xavier?
and Xavier.
Okay. Well, they're right next to Wright State.
Yes.
Of course.
Being in Dayton and all.
Yes.
Wait, is he still alive? Bob Dylan, 82?
Yeah. Outlived Tina Turner. That was his goal.
We heard from him at the campaign.
He'll die of a broken heart tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tangled up in blue. So tangled up in blue.
Hey, Ty.
That's
Tommy
not
Chong
him.
is 85.
We had to mute Tommy Chong.
Corby.
He's on my show.
He's always showing up on Twitter like you could look like this in 5 minutes, like 1,000 tweets.
Brad Penny is 45. I've seen him pitch in person
Him and that Rosie girl.
at least 5 times.
Perfect game.
Why?
Every time Bob would make us go to a sporting event on the road, I willingly went, though.
Obviously, I was so mad.
We did it in Florida, and Brad Penny was starting. We went to a Dodger game, and Brad Penny was starting. It was incredible.
What a great story.
I feel like you've slowed that.
Shut up.
I feel like Bob slowed that bit down. Like he doesn't have to go to an Iona basketball game.
Well, that's because he has Golf Buddy now.
Now I just want.
I wouldn't golf with him.
Now I just want to see Isbill in every city.
You're so suggestible.
Brad Penny opening for Jason Isbell.
I've never seen him in Colorado. man.
Unbelievable.
John C. Riley is 58.
Oh God,
Greatness.
so good.
Pan.
Hello,
What's
Miss
his
Lady.
most recent work? Seems like it's been a while.
He
Has he
did
done more
the Lakers
Jerry
show.
Buss.
He's done.
that's
That's right,
right.
Jerry Buss. Yeah, he's done more serious stuff. He's, hamming it up there.
We bringing that back?
Yes, I think season 2 is on the way after
With Shaq and
Succession
Kobe.
gets done. Yes.
Priscilla Presley is 78. And Roseanne Cash is 68. Oh, Carl Payne, 54. He is Cockroach on The Cosby Show. Says here also on Martin.
Yeah, I remember him.
You think he ever drank
Cosby raped him.
a Cosby cocktail?
Would it surprise you?
Would it surprise you, gentlemen, if Joey Logano was 33? He is.
Wow. Friend of the show?
Quack.
Have you had Joey Logano on? Your
Probably
show?
had him on at the Speedway.
I want to say yes.
That's the most likely place we would have.
But we were also stuck in a 4-year time loop with Graham Rahal.
Yeah.
It seemed like we were having him on more than Joel Klatt.
Here's Point Break. So how long did that one infamous trip that you guys took to go to a Dodgers game, didn't you drive for like 7 hours?
You're confusing stories. Dan didn't go to this one. This was a Padres game with Chris Young playing for the Padres, and somehow Donovan and I drove down there after the show. Like, we got off at 1 in Oxnard, and the game was at 7:30, and we were late.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we got there like at 8.
So you're not making fun of him for that story? It's just me?
Looking back, was that a good decision?
Ted Emmerich, man.
I was happy to
You
be
were.
able to
He's a bad
cross
seed.
the Padres' new stadium off my
You were
list.
not. Bad decision.
That actually was thrilling.
All right, well, I didn't ask you, bitch.
Oh, born on this day, now dead, Daniel Fahrenheit, who invented the thermometer.
Good invention.
And what happened to Mr. Celsius?
The rectal one?
Although now, do we need that? Like, do we need a thermometer?
H.B. Reese,
outside of an anal one,
invented the
Corby.
Reese's
Yeah,
peanut
don't
butter
get rid of
cups.
that.
The what?
What?
Reese's.
Reese's? That's
Reese's?
a monkey.
Oh, man.
What?
No, it's Reese's.
All right. You guys are all
These are
Sasquatch.
not. We're not,
not
jumping
idiots.
on you for.
This is a 25-year bid.
Yeah.
I thought it was
like
Reese's
Mignards.
too.
Because he would call
It's
it.
not like
Thank you, Ham.
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's. It's not-
Like he got off the boat from Ohio, and it was Reese Cup this and
And I
Reese
love
Cup
candy.
that. Right?
Dad, can I have a pop?
Like, that's the most. Everyone knows. Like, Apple Jicks.
5.
What?
Hold on. Before you sign us out,
Just
I want
like
to tell
that.
Corby that dead on this day, still dead is Jay Bennett,
Oh, Wilco.
the guitarist for Wilco.
Sunvolt.
Yeah.
3.
So he's dead, and you'll never hear him.
Just Wilco. He didn't play for Sunball.
You did?
No, he was the multi-instrumentalist. They made the documentary about him.
You're thinking John Sunvolt.
It's so pretentious. Bye-bye.
He played everything. Every instrument.
Park hard by the
Bye, Matt.
AUC.
DEATH. What does that spell? Death, 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 death.
Well, it's time, Corby.
Are we putting the stars in?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're going to wait till Friday.
Tina also has to wait.
Tina is going to have to wait till next week. Lost a big one today. Lost a big one last week in the great Jim Brown. Now, I will say this about Jimbo. It is very, very rare that a player begins his career in the 50s, ends it in the 60s, and that player was then known as the greatest player ever at his position. And then 60 years later is still widely thought of as the greatest player at his position.
Yes.
Yeah, that just shows what a freak athlete he was for the time, to think that his physical traits would translate to today.
That's like saying, I don't know, Bart Starr is the greatest quarterback of all time. The end. Let's not even argue about it. I mean, everybody has always said this, even newer generations who really don't have access. There's not that much YouTube out there of Jim Brown.
Yeah.
But we just kind of, because it was so ingrained in our head from the previous generation, like, just don't even argue. Just don't. He's the best.
Let me give you a quick example. And you may have this already, so forgive me, Corby, but I just think this needs to be said before you get too far into this. He played 9 seasons. He had 8 rushing titles, including 5 straight. And I believe no other player in NFL history has more than 4 rushing titles, or is it 3?
It may be 3.
I don't think anyone else has more than 4. He has 8 in 9 seasons.
Yeah.
Not 8 rushing titles in 9 years is bonkers.
Yeah, and they were playing 12-game seasons back then. I think he had 1 season with 14 games. Is that right? Maybe 2. And I know one of those 14-game seasons was an 1,800-yarder.
They went to 14 in 1961.
Okay, so half his career?
About half his career, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. But the league had never seen anybody of that scope and size ever at the position. And I guess it would probably be the equivalent of Derrick Henry playing in 1954.
Yeah.
You know, he was huge. He looked so much bigger than everybody else. Like you said, Davey, he was such a supreme athlete. He was the best lacrosse player in the country. He was the best football player in the country coming out of college. Like, the dude was a monster. And, you know, it's weird because I think the argument would be always, okay, so Barry Sanders, Jim Brown, Emmitt Smith, and then just whoever after that. I don't even know. Walter Payton would probably be in that conversation.
Yeah.
And then you just throw in random dudes here and there. But it's always him. It always comes back to him. And people that saw him, especially those that saw him in person, like, you ask them about it. You know, Rhines used to be this way. He's like, woof, ugh. So you just you can't even describe how insanely talented he was and how big he was and how powerful he was and how fast he was. And some of those clips when you see him running away from defenders, when he looked like that he was a 12th grader and they were 8th graders, you know, it's crazy. So he pulled a Barry Sanders and retired at the age of 30 at the very top of his career because he wanted to be a movie star. And Art Modell, who was the Browns owner, threatened to suspend him without pay because he was filming The Dirty Dozen, which went on to be a super famous movie from the 60s. He was filming that movie. It got delayed because of bad weather, and it was going to extend into training camp. And Modell was like, you can't do this. You got to be here for training camp, or I'll fine you. And at the age of 30, he said, all right, well, I quit. And he quit to become a movie star.
You think Art Modell overplayed his hand?
Oh, my God. So I don't know what they were paying him at the time. He had to be one of the highest paid players in the league. I don't know what that was, but he saw greener pastures in film and became a fairly sizable star back then. He started out, he was shooting movies before his playing career ended, too. Like, he did Rio Conchos, was doing Westerns. He did an episode of I Spy, which was the Bill Cosby spy show back in the 60s. He did The Dirty Dozen, like I said. He did Ice Station Zebra. He did 100 Rifles with Raquel Welch and Burt Reynolds. And then he did a lot of blaxploitation type stuff. And then within all of that was his activism. There were two things that were within all of that: activism and abuse, which we'll leave the abuse for the last part of it. But his activism started pretty early on, and it was, you know, all about civil rights back then. And the Cleveland Summit is one of the biggest, just ballsy moves by a group of current athletes that I think that anybody has ever seen. I think it was Ali. It was him.
Malcolm X, Sam
yes.
Cooke. It was the One Night in Miami was the
the movie
that
yes.
was pretty recent.
Yeah, that just came out about it. But he wasn't fronting no games, as a great man once said. And people took him seriously. He was feared. He was threatened. I mean, there were so many accounts of people saying they're going to kill him, and, you know, we're going to take you out. You know what? You know, they were calling him and all that, and he did not care. He was true blue when it came to activism.
And I think that's part of the reason why he stepped away from football, and they touched on it in that movie, One Night in Miami, that he saw the glass ceiling that existed for him as a black athlete.
Right.
And that if he wanted to achieve his personal and his civil rights goals, he needed a higher profile.
Yeah. So, like I said, back then, too, no matter if you were black or white, it seemed like that domestic abuse was something that was just thrown under the rug. It just didn't matter. And I guess fame maybe was the key element there. Maybe even not. It may not have mattered, but if you were famous, it sure helped. And he had so many incidents that involved this. So in 1965, according to reports, he beat up and raped an 18-year-old Brenda Ayers in a hotel room, and a jury found him not guilty of assault and battery. 3 years later, he was charged with assault with intent to commit murder after his model girlfriend, Eva Bon-Chin, was found beneath the balcony of his second-floor apartment, passed out cold. He threw her over the balcony. Jeez. The charge was later dismissed after she refused to name him as her assailant. And he also punched a sheriff's deputy in the face when they came out to investigate it. He was fined $300 for all of that. In 1969, he was accused of assault and battery charges stemming from a traffic incident in which he beat up the person that he ran into, but he was found not guilty and the charges were dropped. In 1978, he was sentenced to 1 day in prison for beating and choking his golf partner, Frank Snow, after Frank Snow beat him at golf.
Thank you for never beating me up for beating you at golf.
Right.
Corby.
Yeah. He was fined $500 for that, and that'll teach him, right?
Yes.
In 1985, he was charged with rape and assault of a 33-year-old woman in his home, but the judge dismissed the charges because she would not roll over on him, and there was inconsistent testimony from other witnesses. In 1986, he was arrested for assaulting his then-girlfriend, Deborah Clark. She refused to prosecute. Charges were dropped. In 1989, he was arrested after a dispute with his wife, Monique Brown. He was charged with making terroristic threats toward his wife while threatening to kill her. He was later found guilty of vandalism for smashing his wife's car with a shovel during another incident.
Did you like his quote about his wife, Monique?
What was it?
The only time we ever have an argument is during her period, he said.
Mark. I mean,
do not mark.
Bork.
So,
Bork.
You know what? We're probably pretty lucky.
Do not bork that.
That this wasn't another OJ situation.
Yeah.
Like this seems
I mean,
like,
Jim was preaching facts, but
Yeah, he was. But yeah, this kind of seemed like a guy that was living on the edge the entire time. So, no bueno. He was all the people that have come out, whether it's the Browns, whether it's Emmitt Smith, all these greats that are saying, we've lost one of the all-time greats. Yes, you have. You've also lost a piece of garbage human being in several instances.
But in spite of that, I wasn't going to go jumping right to there, but I was going to say that in the occasions that I was so fortunate to coattail to Canton and see some of the pomp and circumstance around the Pro Football Hall of Fame inductions, anytime that Jim Brown would show up, it was royalty.
Yeah.
He was one of the handful of guys, Joe Namath another one, where it didn't matter what era their contemporaries played in, everyone wanted to go and shake their hand, wanted to have just a minute, Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
You have a minute.
I think the myth of Jim Brown is almost bigger than what he accomplished.
And he was even when he was in his 80s, he was just such an imposing figure.
I mean, he's Jim Brown. That's the thing. It's a name of sports royalty, and for his sports ventures, appropriately so. I mean, he is probably needs to be in that discussion of greatest football player to ever play.
Yeah. So after all of those...
And you can be a bad person and be good at football.
Yeah, after all those cases in which he was accused of doing all that, there was like 10 of them. He served 1 day in jail. He paid $2,500 in fines, and he performed 400 hours of community service. All of those things. That's all that happened to him, which is amazing.
He's one of many, many men who are happy probably that they weren't judged on today's terms. They weren't litigated in today's society because things have changed.
Well,
to a certain extent.
Despite the bad, the great Jim Brown, he is in.
Yeah, there's no question.
You forgot to list when he was in The Running Man in 1987 when he played Fireball. For that alone, he's in.
And his work in the UFC.
Yeah. Well, what did he do in the UFC?
He was like the very first several pay-per-views. He was one of the TV guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's Jim Brown.
All right, there you go. Jim Brown is in. Davey, let's do some E-News.
We'll preview next week's inductee.
That's right. Stop down now for... Brought to you by
Window Nation and All Pro Foundation Repair.
And here he is, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Thank you, Fan and Tree Farm.
Hey, Dave.
So, yes, as you most likely have heard by now, Tina Turner is dead.
What?
Her representative said in a statement earlier today, Tina Turner, the queen of rock and roll, has died peacefully today at the age of 83 after a long illness in her home in Küsnacht near Zurich, Switzerland.
Wow, she lives in Switzerland?
Yeah, so it says that in 2013, she relinquished her American citizenship and took up residency in Switzerland, where she lived with her German music exec husband.
Okay.
But yeah, so she was a musician since her teens. That's when she first met Ike Turner. And they were together for 15 years. They had the big hit in 71, Proud Mary. And then in 76 is when she fled Ike Turner because of his abuse, his very Jim Brown-style abuse.
Off.
Man.
And then it wasn't until 84 that she broke out as a solo star with her album Private Dancer. Had 3 top 10 hits on there, sold 5 million copies. I know. It was not our favorite at the time.
It was not, Dave.
No, but it did win 4 Grammys. And she never matched that success, but she did have her autobiography after that, I, Tina, and then that was later made into the movie What's Love Got to Do with It in 93.
And Angela Bassett won Best Actress,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and it's interesting that she ended her life in Küsnacht, and she began her life in Nutbush.
Interesting.
Nutbush, we're doing this.
Louisiana or where?
Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay.
She was born Anna Mae Bullock.
Can I ask a related question, but perhaps it won't start out as related?
Yeah.
Okay.
To Nutbush?
Mino, is Jim Brown in a closed-off apartment?
Yes, he is. Let me open the page
thank goodness
back open.
For Tina.
So Tina doesn't have to reside in Jim Brown's apartment.
He's going to throw her out a window.
She's going to open room 206 if she makes it in. Jerry Springer, Vida Blue, and Jim Brown.
I don't want to promise her that she'll be in.
If she makes it in,
but we owe it to her legacy.
She'll be across the breezeway from Jim Brown.
Do you know how
keep her away from Jim Brown?
Emasculated Jerry Springer must feel right now with Vida Blue and Jim Brown? Like the two baddest athletes. Like
he'll just pit them against each other and then stand back and watch.
Yeah, right.
He's good at that.
Yeah, she was so huge, and there's a list of 80s pop stars that, whether it's her or Phil Collins or Lionel Richie, just the schlocky pop of the day, but she was right there with all of them.
For that brief moment, she was as big as any of them.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like Mad Max, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that was huge. She was a movie star too. You guys give her some credit.
All right. Speaking of movies,
I'm sure she was great.
Okay. I know we are all fans of cinema here on Enews.
Mm-hmm.
There is a big auction that is going on in June. It is being put on by a auction company called Prop Store. They've been around for 25 years, and they specialize in cinematic treasures and collectibles.
Okay.
And so they have over 1,400 items that will be sold between the 28th and 30th of June in L.A., and they will have in-room bidding. It will be open to the public. You will be able to bid online and over the phone if you're into it, so look up Prop Store if you want to get in on this. But few of the things that they have in the 1,400 items. They have Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia dress from the original Star Wars.
Wow.
It is the ceremonial dress that she wore in the final scene where she puts the medals on Luke and Han.
Yeah.
And Chewbacca
Chewie
doesn't get one.
Oh, we didn't get one?
Totally
he didn't
distant.
get one, right? Yeah.
No.
He got hosed.
She was extra foxy in that scene, as I recall.
Yeah, and it's believed to be the only Leia costume that still exists from the original film.
Okay.
So
Did they keep that bikini from the third one?
They might have. I don't know, but it's not in this. They also have the Batpod motorcycle. So this is one of 6 made for the productions of Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. It's a non-functioning rolling-only prop. They took the battery, fuel tank, and throttle out. I guess you could put all that back in. But it does come with a metal support stand for display purposes.
Could I afford it on a board op salary?
No. Well, no, because both Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia dress and the Batpod are expected to go for upwards of $2 million each.
Oh, man.
Okay, Ham, that's
Again, could I afford it?
Is that 1 year?
You can afford a sandwich. Start a GoFundMe.
I'm in for 300, Ham.
Among the other things that you might be interested in, the light-up Star-Lord helmet from the original Guardians of the Galaxy. They have an evil clown doll from Poltergeist.
Oh, the one?
Yeah.
Dude, that was one of the scariest clowns in movie history. That one that was in the closet, remember that? That kept showing up? You remember that in Poltergeist? You saw Poltergeist, right?
One time.
Oh, bro, it still holds up, too. It's really good.
Don't make me watch it again.
But the little boy goes into his room, and, the storms are coming and all that, and he's freaking out, and the closet door opens up, and that clown is, staring at him like, hello!
Also, they have
Hello!
They also have a coat worn by Kate Winslet in Titanic.
Ooh, that coat came off, too.
They have one of Harrison Ford's costumes from Blade Runner. And they have one of the rock hammers used by Tim Robbins' character in Shawshank.
Corby.
That's going to go for between $50,000 and $100,000.
What?
500
You can do that, Corb?
yards.
See, I need that, and that's how I will eventually tunnel out of my house.
Oh, here's another thing that's about to hit the market as
Behind
well.
a poster of Jason Isbell.
Boy, that'd be perfect.
Who knew?
The Brady Bunch house is back on the market.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I remember it was bought. Yeah, for a couple million, right?
Yeah, so in 2018, it went on the market for the first time in 45 years. It hadn't changed hands since 73. And so there was a bidding war. If you remember, Lance Bass from NSYNC was trying to buy it, but it ended up being bought by HGTV, and then they turned it into a series, a very Brady renovation in 2019, when they added 2,000 square feet to the original footprint to make it look exactly like the set. Because the Brady house, it was just for the exterior establishing shot. They never actually shot anything at that house.
Right, and there's no way to fit that entire TV house inside that exterior.
Yeah, because if you watched a very Brady renovation, it was interesting how they showed how the original footprint of the set would not fit in this house, and then they, in trying to redo this house and make it as accurate as possible, all the different cheats they had to make to fit everything in. But they did add a second story. They added a living room, the kitchen with the avocado cabinets. They did the backyard with the AstroTurf. They made it totally accurate. And so they bought it for 3.5. They put 1.9 into it, and they're selling it for 5.5. So
they're not even really trying to make that big of a profit.
Yeah, they're not really making money, and what they do make, they're going to donate to charity. So
that's great. I think Beyonce and Jay-Z should buy that.
Yeah,
too.
they're buying up everything in California, right?
Yeah.
A couple of legal items before we wrap up E-News. I know we need to get to more Jamie Benn, but rapper Fetty Wap has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for drug trafficking. His real name is Willie Jr. Maxwell II, and he was sentenced in federal court in New York for conspiracy to distribute cocaine. So he was part of an organization that distributed more than 100 kilos of cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, and crack across Long Island and New Jersey between 2019 and 2020.
Has his career, prior to that? I mean, I remember Fetty Wap being a big thing, but...
He's your buddy. He's your golf buddy.
Yeah, that's right. I played golf next to him.
Did he have fentanyl in his bag?
No, but he was, at a bay next to me when we were in Houston for the Super Bowl, and I was playing golf.
With Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap. Good swing, too. Good swing.
So
for one eye.
His group would acquire the narcotics in California, and then they would send it by mail or via drivers with hidden compartments in their vehicles to get them to the East Coast, where they would sell it throughout Long Island and New Jersey. So he was a big-time distributor. So 6 years seems like kind of a light sentence. And Alex Murdaugh is back in the news, as the feds have just dropped a new indictment, 22 counts on him, and this is all about the irregularities around the finances from his law firm. The most disturbing charge involves the housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, who died in 2018 after she allegedly was tripped by the family's dogs and fell down the front steps.
Yeah.
Rough. So, according to the indictment, he recommended her family hire an attorney, which was one of his close friends. That lawyer negotiated 2 settlements from Lloyd's of London and Nautilus Insurance Group, totaling $4.3 million, but they didn't get a dime. He funneled all of it into a consulting firm that he then used for his own purposes.
Such a scammer.
So the Satterfields are one of several victims called out in this indictment. He's accused of money laundering, wire fraud, bank fraud, and conspiracy to commit frauds. He's already sentenced to life for the murders of his wife and son, but he could get more time tacked on and then fines or retribution for his financial victims.
I wonder if he's enjoying prison.
There's no way.
If it's treating him right.
I agree with Dave. There's no way.
And that's your evening.
He's like, you know what? Not that bad in here.
Yeah, who knew?
It's kind of fun. Roomy.
I don't have to see my wife anymore.
Well, he took care of that earlier. All right.
Community Quick Hits.
Brought to you by
DFWsecurity.com and Highly Mazda of Hearst and Arlington.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our hero, Dave.
Dave of the hardwood.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
No, that's not me. I blew out my knee shooting baskets by myself at the compound.
Bork.
Yeah. Okay, so we touched on this earlier today, but it's worth repeating, as the Stars had to release a statement after the debacle of last night's game. Now, they didn't release a statement about the Jamie Benn incident. Ben spoke on his own, and we've talked at length about that. But they did release a statement, a public apology on behalf of the behavior of the fans.
Yeah, boy.
So this is from CEO Brad Alberts. Said, on behalf of the Dallas Stars organization, I would like to apologize to the Vegas Golden Knights and the National Hockey League for the actions of a few of our spectators at last night's game. Their actions were unacceptable and put the safety of the players and fans at risk. We take pride in providing the best experience for everyone who enters our arena. These actions and these individuals certainly do not reflect our great city organization and loyal fan base. And where it all hit the fan was after Max Domi's 10-minute misconduct, where they ended up having to send both teams to the locker room with 21.6 seconds left in the second because there was so much crap on the ice that they were like, let's go ahead and get everybody out of here, Zamboni this thing. And then they did the weird play 21.6 seconds, then blow the horn, then everybody switches ends, and we start the third period.
Yeah.
And so Tyler Sagan said, we don't love it. We have amazing fans here, and that's out of character for them. Hopefully they don't do that again, but we put them in that position. They're emotional, too, just like us. So,
hey, but who doesn't act out of character once in a while, he said.
Obviously.
Referencing his captain and his lineman. You know, it reminded me of that book I was reading over Christmas called Wanting. And it's about mimetic desire. Remember that was referenced in White Lotus. And one of the chapters in there is about, you know, like group actions and the infectiousness of being like in a mob. And whether it's like January 6th or whether it's last night at the hockey game or whatever, you show up somewhere and you don't have intentions of doing something until everyone around you is doing something. And then you're like, I guess this is what we're all doing. I guess I want to be part of the fun here. And you're not
I guess I'll loot that TV.
Seriously, and you're no longer like thinking things through, because I bet you most of those people, and like I said earlier, it was way over 100 people throwing stuff last night. It wasn't a few. It was 100. I swear to you.
I cannot believe that.
And I bet you 95 of them would never do that unless they see
the first guy did it,
the first wave,
guy.
and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm mad too. I guess this is what we're all doing," And it's so weird how humans kind of check out of any sort of moral code or responsibility.
So you didn't, though?
Of course not.
I don't know. I mean, it started off super positive, then it just got
He started
crazy.
witnessing the gospel to people.
Now, there's a lot of things. No, you know what? I'm so trained by this job not to really do anything. And so when everyone yells stars during the anthem, I don't do that. Whenever, I certainly high five after a goal. I certainly enjoy it. I'm emotionally into it, but I feel like too much time in the press box has robbed me with the ability to just bubble over with noise, or actions that might get me kicked out. So when you sit in the seats, you just I don't know, but it was a weird deal last night, and frankly, for a couple seconds there, Dave, you kind of felt like, let's get out of here before my daughter catches a beer can in the side of the head or something. You know?
Yeah, it was very slap-shotty.
It's just dumb.
And again,
it's not going to change a thing.
That's been part of hockey for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Crap getting thrown on the ice and people getting pissed off.
But you see it football.
But you don't see it very often in a playoff game of that magnitude where it's just like, you know what, F this. I'm just going to throw. I mean, like, it's never happened here.
Well, the conditions were right.
Yeah.
Because you pay a lot of money, you have high expectations, and then the game is over before it starts. And so now you're just sitting in your seat hoping for a miracle.
A couple of posts were hit early on in that power play.
Yeah.
They could have got them back to 2-1, I think. Maybe it was 3-1. But at any point in that game, after that 5-minute major, were you going, all right, maybe there's a chance?
Well, yeah, because there's only 7 minutes gone and you're down 3-0. You're like, okay, that's a goal a period. We can do this. And your mind keeps changing the terms of the agreement. Like you're like, okay, one's not so bad. That's bad, but it's not that bad. We can do it. Oh, 2. Okay, we got a lot, and your mind keeps.
Otter's on the bench now.
It's probably like when you gain weight as a human and you justify. Oh, that's not that bad. I've weighed the same amount. Oh, it's only a pound,
right?
But then over the course of time, I've gained 40 pounds.
Right.
It's just so.
Where do these boils come from?
Yeah, so it's a weird deal, but yes, all the way into the second period, I was reasonably interested in the Stars' response until I realized there would be no response.
Did they still do Low Places and all the sing-along songs?
I heard them do Low Places.
They did Low Places, but that felt like it was early in the night. I don't know what happened in the third because I was gonzo.
Tomorrow we need to revisit our old friend from last week that we interviewed, the drunken Seattle fan who appears to be the Nostradamus of...
Oh, God.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we do.
Not the whole thing.
No, just bits and pieces.
All right, a couple more things before we go and stop down for some Sturm Center. There's a big school board meeting tonight in Fort Worth as they are going to discuss the fate of the principal at O.D. Wyatt High School.
Oh, I thought they may change one of the school's names to Michael Block Elementary since he's in town.
Not yet. Maybe if he makes the cut at Colonial. No, Howard Robinson is the principal at O.D. Wyatt High School, and he has been reportedly removed from campus, and his fate is hanging in the balance.
This can't be good.
Over an employee's Facebook post about a Spirit Day that they had, and it was...
Wait, why is he being called into question if it's the employee?
Well, because he oversees the entire campus.
Okay.
On his watch?
He allowed the Spirit Day, the, quote, dress like a student day to take place.
Oh, dear.
And so there's plenty of support for him to keep his job, that evidently he's a very good principal, and a lot of the parents and teachers want him to stay, but he is getting the brunt of this. But this all started with a counselor at O.D. Wyatt named Kelly Davidson Pisano.
Yeah, not related to me.
Prove it.
I mean, maybe. Sounds like that's her maiden name.
Whatever.
That slut that I married.
So they had a spirit day, and this is what her post said. Today was an epic day at work. It was dressed like a student day. If you haven't been in a high school in the ghetto lately, this is 100% how our students dress. Ooh. Girls in their hair bonnets, everyone in pajamas, slides, blankets. The first 2 pics are my fave. One of the coaches was sagging with his grill, and Miss Cook was sporting her court-ordered ankle bracelet.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Is this an SNL bit?
No. I cannot recall having this much fun at work in forever.
And forever.
So, yeah, that did not go over well with parents.
Do we have a photo of this counselor?
I believe she's the big old girl there.
Can I
Okay.
Can I be an advocate on behalf of blankets?
Yeah, blankets in the classroom, there's no problem with that. That cuts across race and class.
My daughter was hauling a blanket into Guardians of the Galaxy the other night. I don't get it, but they're blanket people.
That's legal?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can bring a blanket anywhere. What are you, the blanket police?
Like, why don't you just put some pants on instead of those shorts?
Because then you can regulate your temperature.
I guess you can.
Okay,
so,
how can somebody that teaches there think that this is okay?
Yeah, to say in your public Facebook post that this is what it's like to teach in the ghetto.
The ghetto.
Oh my
So
gosh.
We'll see how that plays out. And finally, we have a bit of audio. So this went viral over the weekend, and there's additional fallout today. So I don't know if you heard the Dade Phelan audio from the House floor on Friday, where he was obviously drunk.
Republican Texas Speaker of the House.
No,
Dade
not the whole
Phelan
thing. No, not the whole thing. It was the second video on the page, but there's a pre-roll, and we can't play it now.
Aww.
Anyway, so
did you
another
just
day
call for that audio for no reason then?
Yeah.
Are you playing just to play it?
Yeah, I was playing it just to play it.
Oh man! All right.
Anyway, basically, it's a.
Did he get fired?
It's a tinkling match now between Dade Phelan and Ken Paxton, because Paxton has called for Phelan to resign, and Phelan's office has shot back and said that Ken Paxton is just trying to save face because Paxton is under fire for misusing campaign dollars, I guess, to pay his whistleblower settlement.
Oh,
it's a mess. It's a mess.
I thought he should have said, "I learned it from you, Dad."
All right, Sturm Center is next.
YouTube.com/@SportsGreek